The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. A new push to end shanty towns in the Bahamas, the government asking to appeal the injunction as the judge reserves a decision. Labor Minister Bell says the government is looking to get furloughed people back to work as the Prime Minister reaffirms his commitment to workers. And in our discussion today, we are talking about disabilities in the Bahamas as we are on the cusp of Bahamas Disability Awareness Week. We're talking about all the challenges coming up this morning. It's all straight ahead. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Wednesday, November 24th, 2021. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Chester Robards will be joining us. Also this morning, another drawing of the Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle. And later in Morning Blend Business, are prepaid meters the answer to many of BPL's woes, especially for customers who are struggling to make payments? We're going to talk more about this today. Got to pay attention to that one. That's coming up. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, Supreme Court Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson reserving her decision on an application made by the Office of the Attorney General to appeal a ruling handed down in June extending the shantytown injunction to the entirety of Abaco. The injunction bars the demolition of all shantytown structures on Abaco until a final decision is made. Fred Smith QC, who represents the shantytown residents, says the government's application for leave to appeal to the Court of Appeal is premature and a waste of time, as the only people being hurt are the poor. He says that Grant Thompson's ruling was plainly justified. The previous government had demolished several illegal housing structures in shantytown communities on Abaco. Caleb Green Smith, who appeared on behalf of the Office of the Attorney General, saying that the shantytowns and the matter is of public interest for the court to examine, as there are arguable grounds with the possibility of success. However, Smith is arguing that the Disaster Recovery Reconstruction Authority didn't even exist when the government bulldozed the homes in the mud back in the shanty towns in the mud. He said the last government policy of destroying people's homes in those communities is inhumane and degrading. The substantive judicial review on the shantytown matter is still under consideration by the court, with parties awaiting the judge's ruling. Shantytown residents are challenging the government's 2018 policy, which sought to get rid of shantytowns in the country. Implementation of the policy was halted after an injunction banning demolition on New Providence and parts of Abaco that was granted by Grant Thompson that same year. The government, meanwhile, filed a summons to vary the injunction to exclude applicants on Abaco. The applicants, meanwhile, had asked the court for the injunction to be extended to cover all shantytowns in the Bahamas, and the alternative, or all shantytowns on Abaco. Prime Minister Philip Davis reaffirming his commitment to a memorandum of understanding signed with the Trade Union Congress and the National Congress of Trade Unions prior to September 16th general election. That's according to TUC President O.B. Ferguson. He says the unions are optimistic with the way things are progressing, as they've been assured by the Prime Minister that he's committed to that MOU. He says the government and the unions are progressively achieving goals that were agreed to in the document. Meanwhile, with the state of emergency now over, Labor Minister Keith Bell says that there is a bit of confusion in respect to the way forward for furloughed workers. He declined to provide further information on what he meant by confusion in relation to the process for these workers. What he says that they're proposing is, quote, not so much so look at the process, but rather not so much to look at the process, but to get them back to work. As to those people who may want to be laid off to receive the severance as opposed to returning to work, Bell says that each person has to make a decision that is in the best interest for themselves. And the government has placed 85 people employed with the 52-week employment program on hold because it does not have anywhere to place them. That's according to Minister of State for the Public Service, Pia Glover-Roll. She says 233 people were engaged with the program since July but are not being paid. And they have 85 that have been placed on hold. She says about 68 of those are reporting but have some issues of attendance, and they have another 10 to 12 that are signing in and don't have anywhere to place them. She says these workers are across the public sector. She noted that the government is reviewing hires that occurred leading up to the September 16th general election. As a result of all of this, Glover-Roll says that the government is seeking to engage private sector employers that would be interested in engaging these workers. She says this would fall well with businesses that are trying to bounce back from last year's restrictions, which were imposed in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. And 32 people captured and arrested in an alleged human smuggling operation in waters off West Bay Street. This was on Monday night. Police, acting on information, went to the rear of a building on West Bay Street shortly after 8 o'clock and met 5 vessels at the dock. 2 boat operators immediately cast off from the dock when they saw the police, and they escaped. The remaining people attempted to flee. Police were able to capture 32, 7 Bahamians, 9 Cubans, 8 Colombians, 2 Romanians, and 6 Jamaicans. Overseas, Syria's military says Israeli warplanes attacked army positions in the country's central region early today, leaving 2 civilians dead and 7 people wounded, 6 of them soldiers. State media quoted an unnamed military official as saying the warplanes fired missiles while flying over the airspace of neighboring Lebanon. The state news agency Sana quoted the official as saying that the strike occurred early in the morning. The official said that Syria's air defenses shot down most of the missiles, adding that in addition to the casualties, there was also some material damage. A Syrian opposition war monitor said the strikes hit positions housing Syrian fighters loyal to Lebanon's Hezbollah group, west of the central city of Homs. The Britain-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said the strikes killed 4, including 2 who lost their lives when they were hit by parts of a Syrian surface-to-air missile that fell in the city of Homs. And Germany is poised to pass the mark of 100,000 deaths from COVID-19 this week, a somber milestone that several of its neighbors crossed months ago, but which Western Europe's most populous nation had hoped to avoid. Discipline, a robust healthcare system, and the rollout of multiple vaccines, one of them homegrown, were meant to stave off a winter surge of the kind that hit Germany last year. In practice, Germans faced a confusing array of pandemic rules, lax enforcement, and a national election, followed by a drawn-out government transition during which senior politicians dangled the prospect of further lifting restrictions even as the infection rate rose. Doctors are bracing for an influx of coronavirus patients as confirmed cases hit fresh daily highs that experts say is also being fueled by vaccine skeptics. Resistance to getting the shot, including the one developed by German company BioNTech together with U.S. partner Pfizer, remains strong among a sizable minority of the population. Vaccination rates have stalled at 68% of the population, far short of the 75% or higher that the government had aimed for. November 28th through 29th in Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. This will be the first window of the qualifiers for the team. They'll play out of Group C in Canada, the Dominican Republic, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. On November 28th and 29th, they will play a home and away format against Canada on neutral ground in the DR. He's going to be representing the team in today's Guardian Sports section. The University of Toledo Rockets are into the final of the Nassau Championship at Bahamar Hoops, going on this week on 2 basketball courts inside the Bahamar Convention Center. The Rockets at 4-1 squeezed past the Tulane University Green Wave 2-3, 68-67 Tuesday night to book their tickets into tonight's championship game. The Rockets will face the winner of the other championship game between the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers and the Valparaiso Beacons. The result of that game was unavailable. I will get that for you at some point. And there's going to be a lot more hoop action going on at Atlantis today as the Battle for Atlantis men's games get underway this afternoon. From the NBA, LeBron James couldn't be in the building. Anthony Davis almost wasn't, with one superstar suspended and another sick. The LA Lakers already had big problems. Then they created one more for themselves by falling into a 25-point hole. They turned it around, but the New York Knicks recovered with Evan Fournier scoring 26 points and Emmanuel quickly adding 12 of his 14 in the fourth quarter for a 106-100 victory last night. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. Weather for today, high pressure continues to build over the islands, producing fresh to strong breezes and hazardous marine conditions. There is a risk of moderate rip currents along north and east coast beaches. Residents should exercise caution when along coastal roadways, especially the Fishing Hole Road in Grand Bahama and the Glass Window Bridge in Eleuthera. We're expecting rough surf and crashing waves. For all areas today, forecast calls for partly cloudy, breezy, and cool conditions. The chance of isolated showers through tonight. Small craft advisories in effect. Expect gusty winds in or near showers or thunderstorms. Winds north to northeast at 15 to 20 knots, but gusty at times. Seas 4 to 7 feet, but up to 8 feet on Atlantic exposed coastlines. Temperature-wise today, we are at about 72 degrees right now in Nassau under partly cloudy skies. We're looking at highs getting up to around 80 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 64 Fahrenheit, 18 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have an extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, It's a new day.
You are listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing today's top stories right here. Your home for fresh news, smart talk, all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Rev customers already get more channels, more sports, and more speed. Now, we're giving more Christmas with up to $250,000 in cash and prizes. Sign up or upgrade to Rev Trio to win prizes like rent and mortgage payments, trips to see your favorite sports teams, plus up to $20,000 in our Rev Cash Vault. Want to win more Christmas? Call 601-898 and ask for Rev Trio. Rev, you and us, together.
We are working to protect our country, our people, and our livelihoods so that we can move forward. The vaccine is safe. The vaccine is easy. The vaccine is essential for our recovery. If we want to rebuild our economy, if we want to get back to our jobs, if we want to get back to our lives, our families, we must do this together.
What does Christmas mean to you? What about the joy and satisfaction you get in starting the home projects you've wanted to do all year? CIBC First Caribbean helps you make your Christmas wish true with easy and flexible financing on personal loans. Apply online and smile all the way this holiday season. Visit CIBCFCIB.com for more information. Terms and conditions apply.
At CBS Bahamas, Black Friday is back and bigger than ever. Mark your calendars for Friday, November 26th. Set your clocks because doors open at 5 a.m. Wear your shopping shoes and get there early. There'll be deals galore in store on everything from hardware and lawn care to housewares and small appliances. It's all going down this Black Friday at CBS Bahamas Southwest Plaza, Carmichael Road. All COVID protocols will be strictly enforced.
My Gateway is the centralized, safe, secure way to access and pay for government services online. Go to mygateway.gov.bs and log in to request a police character certificate, renew your passport or driver's license, and more. Receive emails confirming requests and alerts when documents are ready. You must have a valid, government-issued ID in order to collect documents. My Gateway is fast, easy, and convenient. Go to mygateway.gov.bs and register today.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio. And we are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Chester Robards.
Good morning.
Robards. Good morning. Good morning, sir. Great to have you with us.
Good to be here.
Hope you're doing well.
Good. Thanks.
Okay. Wonderful. Ready for the holidays?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah? Okay. Great stuff.
I mean, we didn't have a November, so it was closer than we thought.
You what?
I said we didn't have a November, so it was closer than we thought.
Oh, was it taken away?
November's over.
Oh, well.
When did that happen?
Yeah, that is December next week. Oh, boy. So it'll be 2022.
Oh, yeah. What does it have in store for us?
Probably more of what 2021 and 2020 had in store. But anyway, hey, we are here, and it's great to be here. Great to be talking with you this morning, and I'm grateful for all of you to be listening to us. You can join the conversation. We'll give you the phone numbers to call in just a bit. You can also tweet us at morningblend969 or Facebook, facebook.com/morningblend969. Email us morningblend@nasguard.com. Or you can text us on the Guardian Radio text line, powered by BTC, 422-4796, standard text rate supply. Coming up this morning, more weather and traffic. And in our 7 o'clock hour, we're going to be starting a conversation about disabilities in the Bahamas, as the country will observe Bahamas Disability Awareness Week next week. We're going to be talking about some of the challenges, as we do often. But of course, you can never talk about this enough. And as these challenges still remain, and sometimes I wonder if we're making any progress in some of these, but we'll find out today what our guests say about that this morning and what's planned for Bahamas Disability Awareness Week next week. Later, we'll have another drawing of the Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle. And then later, continuing a conversation we started yesterday about BPL. BPL saying they're owed millions, hundreds of millions of dollars from people who haven't been able to pay their electricity bills. They brought it up years ago about prepaid meters, and many are saying that that is definitely going to be the way that will save the company, the corporation money, that it will save consumers a lot as well, and will not overextend some people. And we're going to talk more about that. Prepaid meters, prepaid electricity. What's that all about? We're going to get into that this morning. So a lot to get to on this Wednesday, but let's begin with what else is in the news. And in the news, the big headline in the Nassau Guardian, new push to end shanty towns. The government seeks to appeal an injunction that's been put in place, but the judge was reserving her decision as we're waiting for the substantive decision on what the government is allowed to do on shanty towns. This became a big contentious issue under the previous administration. And I am so curious to hear what some people have to say this morning now that the Davis administration is trying to do this. We will see. We'll get to that in a bit, and I'm sure we will conjure up their calls in moments, momentarily. But let's get to what happened yesterday, what the government is seeking to do. Take a listen to this report from our Kyle Joaquin.
Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson has reserved her ruling for leave to appeal to a later date, as lawyers for the Attorney General's office seek to take the matter to the Court of Appeal. Back in Justice extended the court's shantytown injunction to all of Abaco, preventing the then government from destroying shantytown communities without bringing evidence of a breach of the law to court first. The substantive judicial review of the shantytown matter is still under review by the court, with parties awaiting the judge's ruling. Fred Smith, QC, the attorney representing the applicants, questioned what is the vendetta and the utility of the appeal, and why is the Attorney General's office continuing with the application while the court is making its decision. He said the justice's decision was plainly justified. The previous government had demolished several illegal housing structures in shantytown communities on Abaco. In court, Kayla Green Smith, representing the AG's office, said the matter is of public interest for the court to examine, as there are very arguable grounds with the possibility of success. She also argued that it interfered with the work of the Disaster Reconstruction Authority. However, Smith argued that the DRA didn't even exist when government bulldozed homes. He said the last government's policy of destroying people's homes in those communities is inhumane and degrading. He called the AG's office pursuit of the application premature and a waste of time, as the only people being hurt are the poor. Now, there is no telling exactly when, but the justice says she will make her decision and inform all parties as to whether or not leave will be granted. For Our News, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
All right. You have to be careful because These folks are very sensitive when you say these things. Next thing you find out, you're summoned to the court. But hey, you wonder what is the holdup here? What's taking so long for this decision to be made? I mean, I know this has really gone on exceptionally long. Okay. Anyway, so many little parts here. We're following what's going on because they're seeking to stop the injunction that was put in place while the whole decision's being made. Yeah?
So she's making a decision and there's an injunction in place.
Because they were hoping to proceed with demolishing.
Correct.
New buildings that were put up since the start of those initial proceedings.
Right.
So the previous administration was hoping, since these are new ones, these aren't the ones that you were talking about. These just started going up. We want to demolish those. And then there was an injunction placed on that even, and forcing the government to have to come back to show proof. And remember the previous Minister of Works was very vocal about the decision, about how that didn't make any sense. And here we are still at this point. All right, so now the current administration is seeking to lift that injunction. Now, as I was saying earlier, you remember some of the very vocal people who were supporters of this now administration who were like, this is wrong. Let the decision be made. How do you feel now? I would love to hear. Notice you all are very quiet because you don't want to. But what do you say now? This administration is doing the same thing or hoping to do the same thing. Is it okay now? Is it right now? Is that what you're going to say?
Government's suddenly actually continuous now?
This is the right decision all of a sudden, but before, be humane and wait for the whole decision to be made. Okay. I want to hear, will they call in to justify it? But anyway, but let's look at what Fred Smith is saying. All right, again, if you heard the report, he says, quote, having delivered that ruling against them, they're now asking the court to stay the operation of your extension so that they can go back in and continue to demolish while you're writing your judgment. It's a very, very perverse application and one which cannot be justified under any legal principles and certainly not on the facts to the court. As I said earlier, the only injustice is to the flesh and blood, real-life human beings who are eking out an existence in the homes in Abaco. His ruling was plainly justified. Kayla Green Smith, who appeared on behalf of the Office of the Attorney General, said that this matter is of the public interest for the court to examine, and there are very arguable grounds with the possibility of success. She said, quote, we again note more specifically that the notice of appeal raises an issue of public interest in that there was no proper or legal or factual basis for an injunction that retains the government's activities until the determination of the substantive issue, because the substantive issues will not determine the legality of post-hurricane action taken by the government. Very interesting point. She said, quote, the ruling frustrated the operation of the Disaster Reconstruction Authority Act, and further it overstepped the court's constitutional bounds in ruling that the powers under the act couldn't be exercised without the sanctioning of the court. We say that this is a matter of public importance, and I find it incredible that my learned senior would stand before this honorable court and say that this is not a matter that should go to the Court of Appeal for consideration, and that we have no authority to even launch an appeal. Smith, though, argued that the DRA didn't even exist when the government bulldozed the homes in the mud shantytown. He said the last government's policy of destroying people's homes in those communities is inhumane and degrading. Of course, that substantive judicial review of the Shantytown matter is still under consideration by the court, with parties awaiting the judge's ruling. Shantytown residents are challenging the government's 2018 policy, which sought to get rid of shantytowns in the Bahamas. Implementation of the policy was halted after an injunction banning demolition on New Providence and parts of Abaco was granted by Cheryl Grant Thompson. The government filed a summons to vary the injunction to exclude applicants on Abaco. The applicants, meanwhile, had asked the court for the injunction to be extended to cover all shanty towns in the Bahamas, or in the alternative, all shanty towns on Abaco. Prior to Grant Thompson's ruling in June, the government had been demolishing shantytown structures on Abaco. Officials said only homes that were erected after the ruling were marked for demolition. So it's just been a real back and forth and complicated issue here.
I mean, that's it. There's 1,000 things going on here.
Yeah. Great points are being made all around, of course, as was always the case. But, boy. Let's hear what you have to say about it, folks. Let's get your views on this. 323-6232. 325-4316. 254259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 4224796. Standard text rates apply. And again, we want to hear what your views on this, what needs to happen here. New shantytowns are going up. New buildings are going up in shantytowns. This is, people taking advantage on the surface. It seems like they're taking advantage of this situation here.
Yeah.
But as Fred Smith says, a lot of poor people. We have a housing crisis, a nationwide housing crisis. What are people to do?
So I think on Fred Smith's part, it's more of a humanitarian issue than it is anything else, right? And that on the grounds of that, of it being a humanitarian, these things shouldn't happen, right? Because you have international agencies calling for the same thing, right? That the government not demolish these places.
Yeah.
But again, on the legal side, these places should never be going up in the first place.
Well, I mean, I do think we have to question which international agencies. Are those the local chapters of the international agencies? Because, I mean, if they saw these places, would they really endorse them being in existence?
Fred Smith represents some local agencies who deal with these things. So
that's right.
Where's the line drawn? And I don't know if the court isn't here to legislate humanitarian issues, right? They rule on the law.
Mm-hmm.
And structures like shantytowns being put up.
Yeah, absolutely.
So again, like you said, I'm not sure why this is taking so long. The court's not going to rule whether something is humane or inhumane, I don't think. But whether or not it was right for people to have these kinds of structures that we know aren't up to any kind of code.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I guess one of the arguments is whether or not the government should or shouldn't have destroyed the homes.
For this part.
Right. Yeah. And one would think that given that none of the structures would have been up to any kind of code, that it would have been fair.
Yeah.
I think there was another argument made by Fred Smith about demolition of the homes after the hurricane. Was that mentioned?
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about it is there were no homes to demolish. They were all gone.
Right. Quite. Then that's the impetus for the government saying that we have to end this because a lot of people who lived in these type communities were the ones who lost their lives in Dorian, in the hurricane. So it's just a tricky situation. Of course, we didn't get here overnight, and perhaps that is why the decision is being considered so seriously and in depth. But we do need to move forward on this urgently. Let's get your views again. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Now we've got a call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning. How are you doing, gentlemen?
Doing well.
Good.
Issue with this conversation this morning. Both governments have played this trick up and down. Now, put yourself in my shoe. If you go out right now in one of those east or west areas and put up a building, I bet you they will have that broken down in a minute. The foreigners that put these buildings up, they are wrong to begin with. So whatever Fredsman is saying was being inhumane. I sympathize with them, but they're going about it the wrong way. They're never supposed to be building those buildings in the first place. And that's why the government should step in and just do what we were supposed to do long time and stop playing tit for tat. I'll listen to your response. I'll hang up and listen to your response.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Appreciate your call. Many may feel the same way. They feel the same way. This is broken. Right?
But the sad part about it is, after Dorian, we realized, and not that we didn't know before,
right?
But these structures are a danger to the people who live in them. Fires that we have here in New Providence, I'm sure we've lost a life or two, or even injuries. They're a danger. You know, so I get the humanitarian issue, but I don't know if Fred Smith's argument is that we should just allow people to live in these places.
323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us. Let's get your text messages. Someone says here, Dwight, whenever the heat is on the government brings up shanty towns. What now? What? It's one issue that works well in distracting the masses. That's a very ignorant thing to say.
People don't.
What? We just had a fire, as Chester said. We just had a fire in New Providence a couple of weeks ago. All right. We're almost at the end of hurricane season. We've, thank God, avoided some problems this year, but who knows what 2022 has in store. Come on now. That's crazy. And this matter needs to be resolved. We're waiting on a decision. So I think that's unfair there. Marital rape is the one they bring up to distract the masses. Everybody.
Wow.
It's a failure of government to all new homes to be built in these unsafe communities. What policies are in place to prevent new homes from being built until the court case is sorted out? Well, that's what's happening, right? That's what the government's trying to stop. That was the main issue. While they awaited the decision to stop the new ones from being built, and an injunction was placed on that. This one says here on Fred Smith's part, it is not humanitarian, it's nationalistic. If Haitians were not involved, you would not hear from him. Oh, boy. Yikes. Is that the case? I don't know. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning to both of you, C.L. and Johnson.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning to both of you and to the wider Bahamas. Do you know, Dwight, when you started talking this morning, I had to go turn on my computer and check the atomic clock to make sure I was still in 2021. I thought we'd, sling back
to what, 19 something?
Because back to the conversation again. It's like the problem is that, again, I guess we like to talk rather than thought. The problem we allow ourselves to be distracted is that them against us environment. I mean, even if Fred is playing the them, the politicians are playing the us against them when we are both in the same boat. If you go back 2 years to when the pandemic started, and even before we even began conversation, when the hurricane had hit the Bahamas, and we lost 13,000 homes was damaged or destroyed. And we knew that we were having a housing crisis in the Bahamas before then, because we were not building any new homes because they were out of the affordability range. We only need to go to what we define as the inner cities and see the substandard conditions that meets the definition of shanty towns. But this is a housing issue in the Bahamas. Housing issue, it will automatically fix the shanty town issue. Because the arguments of the shanty towns is that there is no affordable housing. And as such, they have resorted to building these type environments to provide shelter for themselves and their family. We've had the argument that thousands, if not multiple thousands, of those individuals are behemoths in waiting and whatever other definitions you want, not just illegals, in those shanty towns. But again, compare the shanty towns to some of our inner cities. If you want to see some shanty towns that existed for 30, 40, 50 years, just come here to Grand Bahama and let me take you to the southern part of Grand Bahama and West Grand Bahama. In fact, the inner city of Freeport itself has become a shanty town with derelict buildings, abandons where families are actually living in. The bazaar that just caught a fire, families are living there. And so this is, again, a housing issue. What we need is to have a conversation on the housing crisis that currently exists and will be exasperated as people begin to move for evictions and families become more depressed because they can't find jobs and placement to pay their bills. I know you're about to talk about BPL, prepaid meter. The question is, the problem is never the prepaid meter. The problem is paying the bills, period. So you could put the prepaid. I still don't have any money to pay the prepaid. It's about having the money to pay the bill. So let's have a comprehensive housing audit. In fact, we need to have a conversation about a social safety net, a comprehensive social safety net that encompasses housing, health, food, all these crises that's about to hit us, education with our young people. In fact, we want to talk about the surrounding, a little piece here and piece there, then coming directly to the problem. It says about 90% of the solution, just 10% is the action. And so if let's have an audit of the housing crisis or the housing needs in the Bahamas and the other needs in the Bahamas, and let's have a comprehensive, real conversation instead of around the surface. Thank you so much.
Yeah. People have been calling. Thanks so much, C. Allen. People have been calling for that for years now from the Ministry of Housing. We got very few responses with the previous administration on this. There were a couple homes built here and there, but he said a real comprehensive discussion about, we need to have a real discussion about Nassau, New Providence, right? Does this make any sense for so much of the population of the country to be living here when we've got so many islands? Should there not be a real effort to move back or to move to some other islands? I've said before, I'm on the train now of moving the capital somewhere else. I think that will go a long way to help balancing out a lot of our housing and other crises. But anyway, people don't want to talk about these things. I think they like it to be difficult for folks. I think we thrive on that. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. More of your text messages. Someone says here, we need to remember the huge number of lives lost from those areas. I wouldn't want in the future, if lives are lost again, for that to be on my conscience. What? The holdup is the judge. You're just afraid to say so. I don't know who. I said it earlier that we're wondering what the issue is, right? I'm afraid to say so. I mean, of course it is the judge. What do you mean? Anyway, I told you this then and now. I say no more because you read my text. What? Okay. To demonstrate the bias held here, yesterday you guys had no sympathy for Bahamians who are about to be disconnected by BPL. That's not true. That's not true. And they go on to say because they need to pay their bills. Well, that is true. They do need to pay their bills. But anyway, now these buildings that were built illegally need to be protected. Not one person said that this morning. Who said that? Fred Smith said that. We didn't say that. Did you say that, Chester? Maybe I missed it.
No.
Oh, okay. So I don't know what you're hearing. This one says, are you guys still talking about these same old issues years ago? Anyway, Dwight, Zambia. But before Zambia, let's look at the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo. Its capital, Kinshasa. Now, we know your industry only shows the worst of Africa. The industry, as in who? Who is that? The media? That's what you're saying?
Your industry.
Oh, wow. Okay. Your industry only shows the poverty, but Kinshasa is a modern city with 6-lane highways, modern infrastructure, spectacular monuments, and museums. So our baseball stadium is finished. What? I don't know what that last part was about. But I don't know who you mean. I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, most of the capitals in Africa would make Nassau look like a shanty town.
Mm-hmm.
But okay. What is your point? What does that mean? What about it? What should we do? Move there? Have them come here? What are you suggesting? I don't. Okay, tell us more. This one says here, for the Minister of National Security, what? Where are we going with this? Wayne Monroe to tell the police to stand down when they're called an illegal demonstration by Rodney Moncrief. I don't know anything about that, but that is all of that is madness. That story there. I mean, they have a right as a private establishment to tell people to stop congregating if they wish. Let's all grow up here, right? Anyway, all governments have failed in the shantytown issue. Too many politicians or too much politicking, I think they're saying. The shantytown issue is the major issue requiring a new mandate for which an early election was called by Minnis. Really? I truly doubt it, but okay. All right, let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
And good morning to your co-host.
Good morning.
I couldn't more specifically with the Alan Johnson. The previous Attorney General was right. There's a separation of powers. And in this case, I think the court overstepped its bounds, and it has nothing to do with housing. It's like trying to mix oranges and apples. It has nothing to do with the other. The fact of the matter is that the law is clear with respect to constructing homes, and this is, yes, we know we have an immigration problem, but this started decades ago, and when Loftus Roker was taken for action, he was stopped in the process, so we are where we are. And the previous Attorney General is right, and the present Attorney General is right. And this matter is one of urgency, and the matter should be dealt with quickly, and he has a right to proceed with the matter because there's a separation of powers. The court, on my opinion, has overstepped its bound because it's telling the executive that they don't have a right to enforce the law. And so, therefore, I agree with the present Attorney General position. He should pursue it vigorously and appeal the matter and have the matter properly dealt with quickly in the interest of the public, because if you allow them to build those houses back there, and there, God forbid, we have another Hurricane Dorian or whatever, you're going to end up with the same result. So therefore, I agree with the government previously, and I agree with the present government position. We need to raise and tell them do not use humanity, because if you look in Europe is saying that we are not allowing any migrants to come on our shores, not only because they are legal, they think in terms of the present situation that exists in the world, which is a global pandemic. So therefore, we have good reason as Bahamians to protect our borders and to protect our country. Yes, we have a housing crisis, but that is a housing crisis for Bahamians and not for that of foreign illegal migrants.
A lot of the people there are Bahamians, though, or entitled to Bahamian citizenship. So, I mean, we still have that issue. It's still a big problem. Is he gone? Okay, all right. So it's a little more complex than that even, right? So a lot of these folks are Bahamians. They don't have anywhere to go. So, I mean, to say that he's entirely wrong about the housing is not quite right. It is everything. It's a lot of different things. It's a complex matter, very complex, and there is no simple solution. But this court issue is not helping the situation. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Early days of this dark universe along with you and Chester, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
We need justice, law, and order. The thing is apathy. When situation establishes itself in the Bahamas, people are not concerned, especially those ones that's in authority. And because of that, immature situation just escalate. And you talked about going back to the family islands, right? The thing is, there are no infrastructure in the family islands whereby people can go and live like they want to. You notice when youngsters finish school in the family islands, what do? They come to Nassau, they want a job. You see what I'm saying? When I get a job, because the type of infrastructure that are here or that are needed in the family islands, they are not going back. So it goes right back to apathy. Everybody, the majority of people that's in authority, they're unconcerned. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I think you're onto something there, definitely. And, I know you all get tired of me when I say this stuff, but trust me, it's all related. We're going to assist in many of these matters. Right? Everybody is flocking to Nassau. It's been happening for decades now. And right now we only have children and old people on the majority of these family islands. This can't continue. This is not sustainable. But as long as the heart, the brain is all on this tiny new Providence, this is going to continue. And we're going to continue with this housing crisis. Yes, we're talking about the shanty towns and Abaco, but it's related because as he said, apathy. I mean, who cares? That's Abaco. That's Abaco. Whatever. It's terrible. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Glenn.
Hi, good morning.
Okay, I tell you how I decided to deal with the situation. I have a few kids that I'm responsible for. Some I collect from the food stores when they get there. They're $50 a night. And I say, now listen, you give me $1, put it right here, and I'll show you the magic of compound interest. You see, the thing is, Albert Einstein said it right, you know. He said that those who understand compound interest will always run this world, and those who don't will always have to pay it. So whenever you drive past a bank, that bank fully understands the use of compound interest, and you don't. And because you don't, you borrow their money and they own you. So you now need to teach our kids the power in compound interest. That's one way out, and that's all I have to offer this morning, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. Let's read some messages before. Oh, yeah, let's take this call, and then we'll get your messages and take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Gone already? They just came in. Yeah? Okay. Let's go to the text messages. So this person says here, good morning, Dwight. The issue for me is I have no problem with them building. Just follow the process legally. But then I think you have a problem with them.
Case closed.
Yeah, you have a problem with the building because they wouldn't be able to do that like that there.
We could hardly.
Land is incredibly expensive, and it's getting worse. So it's. Oh boy. This one says here, Dwight, what makes you a good radio personality is your ability to convey emotion with your voice. You convey sympathy when talking about shanty towns, but you don't hear that when referring to Bahamians and BPL. What? This again?
Really? Is that how they decided?
What type of, this is oh man, that was.
You need to save that one.
That's not even the compliment sandwich, right? That's not even that one. It's just, it starts off nice and then pow! So that's what you heard yesterday? Like what? Keep them off. Shut off the light. No, that's not what we were saying. But we do wonder how you run up $1,000 bill. I mean, that's kind of how you. Yeah, let's take the break now, and then we'll get back to the messages. This is Morning Blend 6.9.
You should know I'm a Bahamian from the Bahamas. It's the place you vacation. Slime domino every occasion. If I did it over, I wouldn't change it. 'Cause this is what I love. Oh, that's what I love. Yeah, I like record script.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The time for your first look at traffic for this morning. Brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. In your real-time traffic, Mile Butler Highway, as usual, heavy traffic from the Fire Trail roundabout all the way up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway. That's the northbound lanes. Looking pretty busy for you this morning. Gladstone Road looking a little bit better, but still heavy traffic about a third of the way south up to JFK Drive. So you got 2/3 of the way heavy traffic in front of you. Up to JFK Drive in the northbound lanes this morning. Blue Hill Road also busy for you from around St. Vincent Road all the way up to the roundabout with Independence Drive, especially north of Soldier Road. You'll see that heavy traffic in the lanes heading northbound. Carmichael building traffic eastbound to Blue Hill Road this morning. And further east, we're seeing along Prince Charles Drive at the major intersections, especially Prince Charles and near Elizabeth Estates, Prince Charles and Fox Hill Road northbound building traffic there as well. And Prince Charles and Beatrice and Prince Charles Soldier Road, you'll see that traffic there. That's what we're looking at so far. We'll have another real-time report for you after the 8 o'clock news. That's your Morning Blend Traffic Alert brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, Banking Reimagined. And it's 32, time for another check of your weather for today. We've got high pressure that continues to build over the islands, producing fresh to strong breezes and hazardous marine conditions. There is a risk of moderate rip currents along north and east coast beaches, and residents should exercise caution along coastal roads. We're expecting rough surf and crashing waves, especially if you are near or on the Fishing Hole Road in Grand Bahama and the Glass Window Bridge in Eleuthera. For all areas today, look for partly cloudy, breezy, and cool conditions with a chance of passing isolated showers through tonight. Small craft advisories in effect. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers or thunderstorms. Temperature-wise today, we are at about 73 degrees in Nassau. Look for highs getting up to around 80 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down 64 Fahrenheit, 18 Celsius. In your extended outlook, high pressure will continue to build across the islands with cooler temperatures and moderate breezes on Thursday, Thanksgiving. Winds will start to Friday. So for tomorrow, Thursday, partly sunny and breezy with a chance of isolated passing showers, becoming fair and cool at night. Friday, partly sunny with a chance of isolated showers and cool and fair conditions at night. The tropics are quiet in these final few days of the hurricane season, the Atlantic hurricane season for 2021. Tropical cyclone formation not expected through the next 5 days. That's your Morning Blend weather check. We'll be back with more Morning Blend after these messages here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Cash is what we have been using for generations, but it's no longer the only way to pay or receive money. That is great news for business owners. I'm Lasanya Mizik, Managing Director at RBC Royal Bank. Encouraging you to going cashless can benefit your business. At RBC, our digital banking and cashless solutions provide security and peace of mind as payments are verified, convenient, and fast. Plus, going cashless helps your business thrive by saving you time and money. Learn more at rbc.com/Caribbean/go cashless. RBC Royal Bank. Banking reimagined.
Technology makes every day in life just a little bit easier. Whether it's for joy, productivity, or creativity, Custom Computers has all the latest gadgets to conquer any obstacle. Imagine automating mundane tasks with tech and living a freer, richer lifestyle, all while staying on top of your goals. The path to freedom could fit in the palm of your hand. Discover tomorrow's technology today at Custom Computers on Patton Street, Cable Beach, and Caves Village through the Blake Road entrance.
Under the Big 10, get 20 to 50% off selected Christmas decorations. Restrictions apply. Trees in pink, frosted green or white in a variety of sizes. LED and laser lights, a large variety of tree ornaments, lighted angels, Santa tree toppers, bright and lively colored Christmas balls, garlands, wreaths, red and white stringed cranberry, tree skirts, stockings, and lots more. Add flowers, picks, and decorative mesh to brighten up your home or office this holiday season. And don't forget the toys at Janae's Chesapeake Road. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Janae's Limited. WhatsApp 817-3295.
Your child needs nutrients every day, and Enfagrow has DHA and iron, which supports your child's mental development. Enfagrow has components which cow's milk does not contain. Support your toddler's growth and complement their diet with Enfagrow. Let's fuel the wonder. This product is not intended to be a substitute for breast milk. Milk does not contain DHA, but contains calcium and other nutrients.
You can win! You can win! Everybody can win with Esso this week in the Fill Up and Win this Christmas promotion. Simply spend $25 or more in fuel, write your name, email, and telephone number on the back of your receipt, and drop it in the entry box provided for your chance to win loads of weekly prizes. Promotion ends December 22nd, 2021. Terms and conditions apply. Visit bettergasmileage.com/fill-up-and-win for more details. The Esso brand is a trademark of ExxonMobil Corporation and is used under license.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
If I did it over, I wouldn't change it. 'Cause this is what I love. Oh, that's what I like. Yeah, I like record script. I like John Cano. Oh, I like.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, along with Chester Robards. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to be talking about Bahamas Disability Awareness Week. That's going to be next week. We're going to get some details about that and talk about the challenges facing people with disabilities in the Bahamas today. So we continue our discussion, though, about what's in the news and the new push to end shanty towns here, getting a reaction to all the drama in the court on this matter. So many different things happening at the same time here. But getting a reaction to it, you can call in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, or tweet us, Facebook us, or text us 422-4796. All right, so this is exposing, as people have been saying for years, this is a very complex matter, so many different things going on, and not just an immigration issue, but a housing issue. But not everybody's agreeing that it is this complex. Responding to C. Allen Johnson, who called earlier. Tell C. Allen this is not a housing issue. If you build 100,000 apartments, the illegals and their descendants will not go into them because they will say they can't pay the rent.
I don't think Bahamians grasp how many Bahamians live in these places.
Yeah. Well, and then people are going to say, well, they don't consider their descendants to really be Bahamians, which is unfortunate. But
no, brother, I talking about
you like from who could trace themselves back to the royalists.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Well, this text here, on top of what the guy said about the law in the shanty towns, they build these homes illegally. When some disaster happens, they look to the government to provide housing for them. When struggling to live in these expensive apartments or to build homes where we pay the mortgage and can't pay the light bill or provide adequately for our family, it's wrong. The undocumented win big while Bahamians suffer.
Win big?
Win big.
Is that really what's happening?
Continue to call us, folks. Let's hear from you on this. What should be the way forward? We're waiting for the judge to make the decision on this, but then what? And what will the consequences be of that decision? If it goes one way, what will that mean? If it goes another way, what will that mean? is anyone going to win big in any of it comes, or we're going to be in a very serious place once this finally comes to a head? I don't know if it's going to be over whenever that is, right? I think this is just going to be a scratching of the surface of the challenges that are going to come, because we've allowed this to get so bad for so long. We've dug ourselves into a very deep hole here, very deep. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. But can we get out of it? Can we get out of it? We've got a whole lot of islands. Got a whole lot of places just waiting right before development opportunities.
Figure it out.
Oh, boy. Yeah. All right. So let's continue to wait to hear from you on that. There are other issues in the news today. There's a lot more happening here. I'm waiting also for another decision to be made on Royal Caribbean and what's going on with them, with the Grand Lucayan in Grand Bahama, with Paradise Island. So many things riding on Royal Caribbean. For more on where things stand at this point, take a listen to this report from our Jasmine Brown.
Mr. Cooper. Jasmine Brown tells us more.
We are in the final phase of discussions with RCL in relation to the Our Lucaya matter.
The Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism giving an update on the Grand Lucayan sale outside Cabinet this morning after remaining mum on the matter for several weeks. Just last week, President and CEO of Royal Caribbean International, Michael Bailey, expressed optimism about the deal. The Minutes administration purchased the Grand Lucayan Resort from Hong Kong conglomerate Hutchison Whampoa in August 2018 for $65 million and made plans to sell the property to Royal Caribbean and the ITM Group for its redevelopment. In late September, Cooper said he believes the Grand Lucayan deal is an egregiously bad one that has cost taxpayers roughly $200 million so far. The DPM said his views on the deal haven't changed. However, he noted that the Bahamas has a long-standing relationship with Royal Caribbean.
When there is a marriage, as long as the one we have with RCL, every day isn't going to be Sunday.
The Minutes administration had originally pegged early 2021 for the redevelopment to begin, but the COVID-19 pandemic delayed and changed the terms of the agreement.
The issue, as it relates to our Lucaya, in the view of this government, has gone on too long, and I can tell you that we are close to resolution in relation to that specific matter.
Now, there was something else both Cooper and Bailey agreed on, and that's the fact that the project needs to get up and running to help get the Grand Bahama economy back on track. Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Okay. All right. When you've got a marriage, as long as the one we have with RCL, every day isn't going to be Sunday.
That should tell you a lot.
Wow, I wonder which day it is. But yeah, okay. A new day, but anyway, yeah. So hey, there is a lot riding on this, right? They've got Paradise Island, they've got Grand Bahama.
But is it riding on this though? That is the question.
Is that one of right? Boy,
what does one have to do with the other?
That is a very big question, right? And is that what's holding up the deal? Is that what's holding up the deal there? And are they not budging on one until they get the other, until everything is sorted out there? Although it does
did they ever even care about Grand Lucayan?
What? Why could you say something like that? Of course they did. No? You think it was all about Paradise Island? Or you're acting.
That's what my circles have said.
Oh dear. Would that be a bad thing, or are we getting another Hutchison type situation?
Well, so, I think maybe Royal Caribbean cared about the port side of things.
Right.
I don't know if they cared about the hotel. Because remember, they're supposed to develop the hotel and do an attraction at the port.
Right. Which is separate from what Carnival was doing.
Right. And part of the reason that they kept saying that the hotel side was dragging on was because they couldn't come to a decision with the ports on, I guess, on a deal for the port. So I don't really think they care about the Grand Lucayan Hotel. They're a cruise company, not a hotelier.
Uh-oh.
Hey, it ain't personal. It's just business.
That's terrifying. That is, I said that word again. This is the terrifying day. All right. So what does that mean? What will this hotel ever live up to its true full potential? It just doesn't seem like it has happened yet. It's a lot of speculation here, but let's hear your views on it really quickly before we have to take a break, folks. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Getting some messages. What does that mean? This is about the every day will be Sunday. It's like a fishing from the moon thing for me.
Oh, no.
I don't know. Huh?
It's not. It can't. No, I still don't understand fishing from the moon, so I don't think it's the same.
Well, you understand fishing from the moon. You just, this one says here, I'm not married, but what happens with married people on Sunday?
No, Sunday's the good day.
Right.
Sunday's the quiet day.
Is it? I mean, okay. Sure. Let's take this call. Maybe they understand. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Chester.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, I listened to the Deputy Prime Minister. In my opinion, when that hotel was initially bought, I opposed it then, and I still oppose it now. It was just a bad deal. Now, I understand that there has to be a process of negotiation, and during negotiation, you're not at liberty to really elaborate on the matter as extensively as you would like to. But like I said, I believe that Royal Caribbean out of the deal than the Bahamian people would get. So I'm hoping that the Deputy Prime Minister, like you said, it was a bad deal, and I agree with him from the initial outset. And I hope that in this negotiation with his team that they don't go in there and allow Royal Caribbean to use the Bahamas like has been done in previous foreign nationals. We need to go in there and negotiate from a power of strength. For the most part, our government been doing it for decades. They've been negotiating from a power of weakness, as if we don't have nothing for which to negotiate. Royal Caribbean want that situation over Paradise Island, and so they are tying that into the situation in Freeport. They're saying, hey, give us what we want on Paradise Island, and then we can consider wrapping this deal up. I imagine that's where the situation is. They want more, much more than what they are prepared to do right now. For instance, that hotel, I would not be astonished if that hotel is owing government stamp tax maybe in the millions over the years, because if the owners of that hotel was not prepared to fix it after getting all of the royalties, after getting all the insurance, etc. from that, they wasn't prepared to fix the hotel. So I believe that the government should negotiate from power of strength and say, hey, give us what you owe us and let us negotiate from there. So there must be a good negotiation skills in that room in order for us to have a proper conclusion that is in the best interest of the Bahamian people. Other than that, for nothing. So I'm hoping and I'm praying that that be the case, that when the Deputy Prime Minister come back to the Bahamian people, he can say, right, we have a deal with which we can live with, and now in this case, the Bahamian people was not taken for another ride. Thank you for taking my call.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. We are going to see. Got some of your messages here as we get ready to go to the break. Someone says here, we will have to heavily subsidize whoever buys this hotel. We don't even run Freeport, so we cannot promise much without the port's approval. That whole structure and system needs to be adjusted as well in order for Grand Bahama to thrive. That's me adding that part, because that is just not working at all, is it? This one says here, we need to know the government's plan to inject some life into the southern. Yeah, well, don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. If you want a plan for the southern Bahamas, you need to push the government to do true local government and empower the people on all of these islands to come up with their own plans. Their own plans, not to wait for a Nassau MP to come up with a plan. They barely have a plan for New Providence, right? You've got to push for them to change this. This person says here the Grand Lucayan Hotel needs to be demolished. Oh, that's clearly someone who's never been there before. Man, really? Okay.
What are they talking about?
Oh, boy. It's very sad. This person says here, we want ownership in all these projects. How can Bahamians own the economy in the new day? Another one, fishing from the moon is the DreamWorks logo, but I don't know what won't be Sunday. Another person says it means easy like Sunday morning. So okay.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Perhaps. This may be hard to digest, but if a skill set audit of persons were taken from the shantytown residents to build low-cost housing complexes or unidentified land by the government at minimum wage, in turn giving a low-cost mortgage for the same shantytown residents.
Wait, what?
Okay. And this one says that we all understand that influence is what is used to become successful in this country, so I can't understand why we thought the previous administration would be able to do anything with that hotel. There is a big difference between building value and extracting value. The post office is an example of extracting value. Okay. All right. Boy. Yeah. All right. So let's go to the break, and when we come back, we're going to get into the discussion about Bahamas Disability Awareness Week here, and that's coming up on this Wednesday morning here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I'm leaving you tomorrow. Seems to me, girl, you know I've done all I can. You see a big
Hello? Yes, a lot sooner than we thought. Well, that's thanks to those returns from my RF Mutual funds. You know they have some of the best performing funds in the market. Yep. With what I've been earning, I can finally set a date for my product launch. Draft the paperwork. I'm on my way.
Reach your financial goals sooner with RF Mutual Funds. Sign up by November 29th for a chance to win $1,000. Find out more at rfgroup.com. RF, money at work.
When engaging in physical activity, it is normal for the body to get tired and fatigued. In the same way, COVID-19 has brought on fatigue, but we must not give up the fight. Wear your mask over your mouth and nose. Stay at least 3 feet apart from others. Wash and sanitize your hands often and avoid touching your face. Together, we will win.
This message is brought to you by the PAHO WHO Bahamas Interpreting Cases Country Office, the Ministry of Health, and the Healthy Bahamas Coalition.
We are working to protect our country, our people, and our livelihoods so that we can move forward. The vaccine is safe, The vaccine is easy. The vaccine is our recovery. If we want to rebuild our economy, if we want to get back to our jobs, if we want to get back to our lives, our families, we must do this together.
At CBS Bahamas, Black Friday is back and bigger than ever. Mark your calendars for Friday, November 26th. Set your clocks because doors open at 5 a.m. Wear your shopping shoes and get there early. There'll be deals galore in store on everything from hardware and lawn care to housewares and small appliances. It's all going down this Black Friday at CBS Bahamas Southwest Plaza, Carmichael Road. All COVID protocols will be strictly enforced.
You've tried everything. ASUS with your mother's cousin's sister's auntie, and even hiding your money under your mattress. But is your money safe? Your Bahamian dollar deposit in a member bank or credit union is insured up to $50,000. If anything happens, your deposit up to the insured value will be returned to you thanks to Deposit Insurance. Visit Deposit Insurance Corporation at www.dic.bs.
Protection for your money guaranteed with DIC.
Scars you hide. And hey, if your wings are broken, please take mine so yours can open too. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you. Oh, tears make kaleidoscopes in your eyes. It hurt, I know you're hurting, but so.
And we are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with Chester Robards, and the theme, Inclusion for All, Disability Awareness Week, Bahamas Disability Awareness Week, November 27th through December 4th. We're going to be talking about this morning. Very pleased to welcome Dr. Riviana Smith and Zen, is that how you pronounce it? Zen Roll. Welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for being with us.
Guys, and good morning, Dwight. And,
Welcome. Good morning.
All right, so we have a few minutes before we break for news, so let's get just the basics in Disability Awareness Week. How long have we been observing this now?
Well, according to our researchers, Dwight, this would be our 12th annual Disability Awareness Week. Okay. It started back in 2009. It was launched by the Bahamas National Council for Disability. And since then, the Department of Social Services has taken the lead and partnered with all of the disability NGOs, the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, and advocates and other supporters of the community of persons with disabilities to be able to do our Disability Awareness Week activities, events, and just public awareness exercises.
Yeah, and you've got a full week of activities planned. We're going to get into details with those a little bit later. But of course, we want to have a discussion this morning about awareness, bringing awareness and the challenges. We have you on often, Kendrick, and we know there are many issues out there. But it does seem that we still have a very long way to go in getting people to fully understand what's happening here and how many people are being left out in our society. So when we get back from news, we're going to ask you about that and what needs to change and whether we are making progress from that first Disability Awareness Week 12 years ago, and whether we are where we should be. I know the answer to that one, but we're going to get into that in just a bit. So Kendrick, Riviana, Zen, we're going to get back to you all for your morning blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:22, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. We've got high pressure that continues to build over the islands, producing fresh to strong breezes and hazardous marine conditions. There's a risk of moderate rip currents along north and east coast beaches. And motorists and pedestrians along coastal roads should exercise caution as we're expecting rough surf and crashing waves. For all areas today, look for partly cloudy, breezy, and cool conditions with a chance of passing isolated showers through tonight. Smoke-active advisories in effect. Look for temperatures getting up to around 80 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to a cool 64 Fahrenheit, 18 Celsius. In your extended outlook, high pressure will continue to build across the islands with cooler temperatures and moderate breezes come Thursday. Winds will start to decrease by Friday. So for tomorrow, Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, look for partly sunny and breezy conditions with the chance of isolated passing showers, becoming fair and cool at night. Friday, partly sunny with a chance of an isolated shower or two, becoming fair and cool at night. The tropics are quiet, tropical cyclone formation not expected over the next 5 days. That's your Morning Blend weather check, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. What's first for you comes first for us. Day 24, another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. And another advisory about coastal roads this morning, and there could be rough surf and crashing waves, so motorists and pedestrians need to be careful, especially if you are on the Fishing Hole Road in Grand Bahama and the Glass Window Bridge in Eleuthera. With your real-time Nassau and your Providence traffic, here's what's happening. We've got Milo Butler Highway, heavy traffic cop out there, and so the traffic is now backed up along Tawny Williams Darling Highway this morning, westbound heading towards that roundabout there. So keep that in mind. If you're eastbound on Tawny Williams Darling Highway, you're going to be seeing some heavy traffic in that direction as well. As we said, we believe the assistance of the police officer might be causing this shift. Blaster Road is also busy from just north of Fire Trail all the way up to JFK Drive this morning. Blue Hill Road, heavy traffic north of Soldier Road, and we're seeing some backup on in all directions of that roundabout there with Tawny Williams Darling Highway east-west, Independence Drive. And so southbound on Blue Hill Road near Town Center Mall, you'll be seeing that traffic as well. Further south, Carmichael Road eastbound to Blue Hill, heavy traffic there. And Blue Hill Road's going to be busy for you a good portion of the way down there. In eastern New Providence, traffic from San Souci up to Johnson Road in the westbound lane there. And traffic backed up a bit on Fox Road near St. Anne's School. And then Prince Charles Drive, also heavy traffic near Elizabeth Estates and near the intersection with Fox Hill. And then further up with the intersection of Beatrice Avenue. Bernard Road also seeing some heavy traffic, and this intersection has been challenging for months now. Soldier, Wolf, Bernard, and Village. Heavy traffic in multiple directions, but mainly northbound on Soldier. Traffic building on Mackey Street northbound as well. So many hot spots this morning. You're really going to need some patience. The Independence Drive, another spot that's busy. Both directions there and portions along Soldier Road. Good luck to you. That's your real-time traffic in your Morning Blend Traffic Alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined.
Experience holiday shopping joy with an RBC Rewards Visa Platinum credit card. Apply by December 31st and receive 2. Enjoy multiple ways to redeem your RBC Rewards, including My Way Travel Credit, Cashback Credit, gift cards, and much more. Apply today at your nearest branch or rbc.com/Caribbean/Visa Rewards and experience holiday joy with RBC. Conditions apply.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
So yours can open too, 'cause I'm gonna stand by you. Oh, tears make kaleidoscopes in your eyes. It hurt, I know you're hurting, but so am I. And love, if your wings are broken, borrow mine so yours can open too. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you, even if we bring it down, even if we can't find heaven, I'll walk through with you, love you now.
And we are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. We are talking about Bahamas Disability Awareness Week, which begins in November 27th, runs through December 4th. We've got Kendrick Roll, Riviana Smith, and Zen Roll with us this morning. Okay, so I want each one of you to tell us the organization that you represent, and then we'll get into some discussions about what we are seeing, the challenges that we're facing today before we get into some of the events for the week. All right, so who wants to start us off there?
I'll go, Dwight.
Okay.
I represent the Disability Affairs Division of the Department of Social Services, and I'm also the chairman of this year's Disability Awareness Week planning team.
Okay, wonderful.
Hi, yes, and of course, Riviana Smith again. I'm representing Training Center for the Disabled.
Okay, wonderful stuff.
Yes, good morning. I'm Zen Roll. I'm the principal at the Marjorie Davis Institute for Special Education, and I represent all the educators and a part of disabilities.
Okay, fantastic. So got a great cross-section here this morning. All right, so let's talk about this. Is it just me? I see, and so again, it might just be me, but I'm seeing more people with disabilities than I've ever seen before on the streets of New Providence, begging and seeking handouts. Is that representative of what's happening in our community, or is that just a small percentage of the population, and what's accounting for that?
Wow. Well, Dwight, in all honesty, considering the climate of the day, we even see persons without disabilities on the streets begging today.
Yeah, well, that is true. That is true.
So it really doesn't point to the condition of having a disability. It's just the status of our economic affairs in the country and by extension the world. But for the most part, what we are seeing with the community of persons with disabilities are people thriving now for more independence and trying to take advantage of opportunities available to them to empower their lives, whether through education or entrepreneurial ventures or just general training for personal development. That has been happening mostly in the community as of late.
Mm-hmm. And how open has the community been to this, to accepting this and welcoming and partnering on these type initiatives?
Well, to be honest, the pandemic slowed down a lot of things, but prior to it, a lot of persons were perceptions to start learning, becoming computer literate because whether you believe it or not, the community is seeking employment and they're trying to ready themselves for whenever the final amendments are made to the Equal Opportunities Act, so that when employment opportunities become available, they will be ready to fit those positions without being hampered or without any questions. Mm-hmm. So that is what has been happening now since the pandemic. There couldn't be no gatherings for training and what's not, but as we coming out of it now, training is now starting to be readily available in small groups and small numbers. But, I know as we emerge more, we'll see that more opportunities will be available. I know that Disabled Persons Organization was running a good program, and the leader there, Mr. Anton Monroe, is seeking ways now how we could get things rolling again.
Mm-hmm. I want to come back to you, Kendrick, about that, the final amendments to the Equal Opportunities Act. But let's talk about the training and what's happening there with Vianna Smith, and maybe Zenrol, you can chime in on that. What's happening in terms of training, and more on how receptive you see others in the community to hiring, to employing somebody with a disability in their establishment, what you're seeing out there now.
Okay, let me just give us a quick synopsis of what takes place at the Training Center for the Disabled.
Okay.
What we actually do here, we provide training for persons with disability for employment. And what we have discovered was that persons were not hiring them. So therefore, all of our training for the last 3-4 years were geared on self-employment. So whatever the interest of the person with disability is, that is what they got their training in. And I must say our program is very effective. One of our students, he did sales as his training, and we sent him to a business establishment just to get the hands-on experience, and they ended up keeping him for like 2.5 years. He was there.
Wow.
So so the program is a successful program, and then we have our female persons with disability. They're doing their nails and home care with the nails and all of that. And so in any regard to training, when we give them the opportunity, and I always tell people, it's not about the disability, it's about the ability. And even though you may be a person with a disability, when you come to the Training Center for the Disabled seeking to do training for employment, you have to be good at what you do. So, Mr. Strachan, so let's just say you want a secretary. That's we give them all the training that they would need so that when they come to you, they just flow right in with your program. And that is what happened with our student. And so the public has been very gracious to us in that when we're seeking, and all of that is done free of charge to the student and to the parent.
Oh, wow.
But that can only be done because of the financial support from the community or private organizations. And so when, like how Mr. Roll talked about the pandemic, and the pandemic knocked everybody out. So it's a little difficult for us right now, because right now we're planning on starting our class again in January. And hence the need, we're gonna talk about a little later on about the dinner and show. But for the most part, we've been doing very well. We've been getting good sponsors. And what we also do here, part of our training is fascinators, headpieces, corsages, floral arrangements. And so whatever dollar you would spend in purchasing one of those items, it goes into our program. So it's like a double whammy. You're getting something wonderful, a nice product, and then you're also helping someone with disability to live life.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic. And Zenrol, tell us about the Marjorie Davis Institute and what happens there.
Okay, so Marjorie Davis is an early intervention. It caters to students from grade 1 to grade 3. And what we try to do is try to provide intervention. It could be academic as well as behavior for those students considered mild to moderate, so that they could be able to function in the general education. I know normally when we hear about disability, we would focus on the more severe to profound, but the center caters to those who exist in the general education population. And once recommended by special service section of the ministry, we would then start what is called an IEP, work towards achieving goals and try to matriculate them back into the general ed so that they could experience some success throughout their educational journey.
Mm-hmm. And let's talk more about that. What are some of the successes that you're seeing? How has this been going?
That's, wow, so many, and it's wide. Okay. Where should I begin? But I'll just start with the whole word of special education. That's something that we need to discuss a lot in this country. Many times when we hear special ed, parents shy away from it. You have to sort of encourage them to agree for their students to participate in the intervention, which can be a process. And so the center is undergoing a lot of programs and workshops to assist the general public that, it's all right. Special ed just speaks to every differences. We learn differently. And I know earlier in the show you said that you're seeing more with disabilities, and no, disability is funny. Sometimes it's only what we perceive or see we would label as a disability. And the scope ranges from those with mental health and behavior, the cognitive, what we refer to as intellectual, the physical, the sensory. The physical is usually the one that we normally see. Right. And of course, we have those with some blood disorder and neurological. And so what we try to do, we try not to focus on that label. We try to see how best we could provide whatever support is needed for them to experience some success in education. For example, Kendrick would have alluded to the financial state in the country. That's playing a real toll on a lot of our kids. If parents can't provide certain things, it affects them. And really and truly, that will tap into the child's success in education. And you're going to find that many families who have, this is not statistic, but we know it's hard for parents who have children with disabilities, because you have to go through a bit more in order for people to keep your child, in order for them to participate in certain things. And so it can be a financial restraint on parents. And so all these things we consider at the center, and we try to provide support the best way. It's on an individual basis. So it's hard for me to just say what it is we do. Yeah. But whatever it is we can do, my team and I, we follow through with that.
Yeah. All right. So both of you were talking about that, Zen and Riviana. So what can the public do to help, to provide, maybe to volunteer, maybe money? What do you need, and what do you need more of?
Well, I'm just going to chime in and speak for Marjorie Davis. Okay. We have several pilot programs. One is to adopt a child, where we're asking the general public if you want to invest in a child's life. It could range from academic, that is, even though we provide the instructional means for that child, if you want to pay for extra tutor services, books, or you just want to provide financial support to the family, we are encouraging the public to participate in that program. We also have a volunteer reading program. Although COVID would have changed the routine, but we will consider continuing on a virtual platform. And we also have programs for parents. And so we're asking for the wider community, if you are an organization that provides parent program, to call Marjorie Davis to see how we could partner and further support parents.
Give us the phone number so people can...
Okay, so we have several numbers at Marjorie Davis. It's 323-0692-5. Or you can call 802-3382, Mr. Watkins. He is ready to provide whatever services is needed.
Okay.
And 815-3276. Also, I want to inform parents, if you are having some difficulties with placement or need some sort of assessment, there's special services section of the ministry you could contact, and I want to give them that number.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Sure.
Okay, so 823-9010 or 827-9013.
Okay, great stuff there. Thank you so much, Zenroll. Riviana Smith, tell us about the help that we can provide, what you all need at the training center.
Yes, our help is finances, and the reason being, when we elect or select our students, each one of them has their own mindset. Because when we started our training, they all came in and they helped with our floor arrangements. But since we revamped the program, there's individuals. So because we don't know what their interest will be when we select them come January. So for us, it's always finances, and finances can go in so many different ways for us. So we are soliciting finances at all times.
Mm-hmm. Well, all right. So how would that, what form should that take? How do you have a bank account?
Yes, we have a bank account. Our account is at Commonwealth Bank, Town Center Mall. The account number is 600-1528. And then, of course, you can drop it at the training center. We prefer that because we want persons to actually see what they are donating to. You know, a lot of times people say they're donating, but every time you walk into the training center, you can see where your funds are going. So it's good ground, it's good soil. And we prefer that. And then we want to see, we want to get to meet you. And then you could mingle with our students, so you could get to see the students, you know?
Yeah.
So it's always good. Yeah.
Where are you located? Where is this?
We are on Wolf Road. We are between Collins Avenue and Lincoln Boulevard. It's a pink 2-story building. And of course, we're downstairs. We have 3 signs up, Dwight. As many times as we have those signs, some people still say they can't find the training center. But I'll tell you what happened. Like I said earlier, we make fascinators here. All of our fascinators are made from scratch, right?
Okay.
Because we make what you want. You may want it small, you may want it big. So we make them. And Dwight, the thing is, because our fascinators are made so well, people are not expecting that kind of work to come from a disabled center. So they're always looking for this big old huge hat shop.
Oh, fancy place. Wow.
Yeah, because people came into the training center many times and they would say, but we look, oh, this is the hat shop, but the sign is saying training center for the disabled. Yeah, we are.
Wow, that's amazing. That is amazing. So
Yes,
Kendrick, there are tons of stories like that with people, you know, defying. Let's talk more about that. We've done that with you before, but talk more about the myths that need to be debunked about people with disabilities.
They just need to understand the persons with disabilities are humans just like everybody else. And there are many of us here in the Bahamas who are breaking barriers towards independent living and just striving for a better life. And as long as we could remove the stigmas that are placed on us from society and do what the world is expecting, that is to remove all forms of discrimination, the world would see that persons with disabilities have a lot to offer wherever they are in this world.
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Absolutely. All right. So I know you mentioned it earlier, and it's just hard to believe that this hasn't been fully enacted. The Equal Opportunities Act, we know what's supposed to happen.
Right.
Clearly, there's still challenges.
But just a question before you ask that. What is the kind of employment situation like for people with disabilities right now as it stands?
It's low, but according to the Act, if you have an establishment with 100 employees, you should have at least one person with a disability employed with you. And what the new Act is intending to do, what the amendments has made the Act, what we want to pass now is to change that to 2 in every 50. Because there are a lot of persons with disabilities who are unemployed, and they can do the work once trained and given the opportunity. They can do the work, and in some cases, they can do the work better than persons who would be called able-bodied. There was one human resource manager who bragged that he hires the of deaf to work in his establishment. Why? They are more productive because they don't have time to chit-chat and be distracted with stuff like that. And so his turnover is greater than others. So we just asked the business and corporate world to give persons with disability a chance and really see how productive they can be once given that opportunity.
Yeah. So along the lines of Chester's question, I mean, so do we have any figures to show whether that is being adhered to, the 1 in 100 before we even get to the 2 in 50? What do we know at this point?
Well, the National Commission has been challenged with trying to get their inspectors in place. And once we get the inspectors in place, they would then be able to go out and do their research to make sure that these laws are being enforced. So at this point, data is very low. But we're just working on a hope method now.
And there's supposed to be penalties for companies that don't
Oh
adhere
yes,
to that.
there
Right?
should be penalties. There should be penalties. However, like we say, we need the acts to be re-amended and passed so that these things can start to be enforced.
Mm-hmm. So for folks listening out there, I guess Riviana, you can help. If they do need someone, should they contact you? How do you go about this? If they want to at least adhere to the law, is there like a data bank? Is there a job skills bank?
No.
That
that would fall under the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities. They first need to be registered. Persons with disabilities need to be registered with the National Commission, and from that point, then they are able to really embrace all of the opportunities that is available to them.
Okay.
So we want to encourage the general public with disability, or your loved one has a disability, call 394-8600 at the Ministry of Social Services and Urban Development and ask them to put you through to the National Commission, and then the staff there would help you with getting registered. And once we have the numbers, it would even help to strengthen our argument for the amendments to the Act and for the Act to really go through and for there to be inspectors to go there and start enforcing the law even further.
I have a quick question about, so you talk about ministries. One of the things the Ministry of Works, and I think they should be, commercial buildings should start putting things in like ramps and stuff, right? But the Ministry of Works also builds sidewalks. And this is a huge pet peeve of mine. They build sidewalks that are not friendly to wheelchairs and people with disabilities. They got poles running through the middle of the sidewalk. You gotta chuck the person down on the street to get them past that obstacle. What's going on there?
Well, you have to recognize that a lot of these things took place prior to the Equal Opportunities Act. And in some cases, the Act was passed, some of those works were already in action. But when you talk about sidewalks, I know there was a big argument about the government building sidewalks some years ago. People saying how it doesn't make sense, but they do not realize how important those sidewalks are to the community of persons with disabilities.
Yeah.
Without those sidewalks, we will have wheelchair users or persons who are blind, like myself, trying to navigate with a white cane in the middle of the road, and that is not safe. So when you see things like that happening, people need to have a more open mind to why things are being done and not really being self-centric about it.
Even the public transportation services, you go in the States, you see the buses that could take wheelchairs.
And in our launch last week, that seems to be the main focus of our permanent secretary at this time, and by extension, the minister and this administration. They seem to be really focused on finally trying to put a public transportation system in place for the community of persons with disabilities.
Well, praise Jesus for that.
A major struggle. We'll praise Jesus, but we'll even thank God when it is done.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yes,
You're right about that.
Yeah, very true. All right, so we are running low on time. So let's talk about the week that officially kicks off on Saturday. What are some of the events that are going to be taking place? What can we expect?
Well, just quickly, this Saturday is our awareness walk and motorcade. Starts out at 9:30 in the morning, leaving from Stapleton School. They will take place simultaneously, one heading in one direction, the other in the other. And it will end back at the Stapleton School. We go to church at Living Waters Kingdom Ministries at 9:30. And for the first time, we are going to have a church service on every major family island and key in the Bahamas celebrating Disability Awareness Week. That's going to be done. Yeah. Tuesday is the public forum on the conventional rights for persons with disabilities. The National Commission for Persons with Disabilities is doing the final work to get that in place. And I can take my break now because the energy lady, Ms. Riviana Smith, is going to tell you what's happening on Friday night. This is her pet peeve. What happens on Friday night, Ms. Smith?
Okay, Riviana. Are you there?
Before Riviana go, I just want to remind, I think Ken Missile, one of our big fundraisers on Saturday. That's the Soup, Stew, and Sauce Day at Stapleton, Ken. You can't forget that.
Yes. I just was afraid of the time. Yes, the public, we're doing soup Stew, and South this Saturday from 10 to 3 to raise funding to help defray some of the costs of our Disability Awareness Week big event.
10 to 3.
Saying that Riviana is not here. No, it isn't free. It's $12. So you come,
right.
you come $12 to get a meal, and then we'll also have other little treats on sale.
Yes, yes.
10 to 3, okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 10 to 3. And then on Friday, she's here?
Yeah,
yes, I'm here.
Okay,
Yeah, you mean? Hey, listen. Dwight is going down on next week, Friday night, man. All road leads to the National Art Gallery of the Bahamas. That's right down the road from Great Cliff. We are having a jolly extravaganza of dinner and a show, Dwight. We talked about integration with the disabled and the able, but listen here, it's going down next week, Friday, and guess what? We having the dinner, we having show, we having live band, we having DJ, we having the works, we having the soda, we having the red wine, the white wine, the blue wine, the all color wine.
Oh gosh.
And guess what? The ticket is only $40. My God. $40, you're getting a double whammy, you're having a wonderful night, and then you're supporting persons with disabilities. This is our only fundraiser for the year. So it starts at 7:30. But like I said, and it's just going to be an awesome night. If you want tickets, again, you can contact the Training Center for the Disabled, 323-3808, just $40 for all of that. And let me tell you something, we ain't cheap. If you eat a plate of food and you're hungry, go back and you get more. And I won't talk with the pastries. Right, I have some big old turkeys right now in this fridge here. The turkey's so big, Tony, I can't even fit it in the freezer.
Oh,
so
man.
listen, it's going down next week, Friday, and you're going to see the ability of persons with disability. We have a show plan. You need to be there.
Okay. Wow. That's going to be amazing.
What you forgot is on that night we are doing the first ever Disability Icons Awards ceremony.
Kendrick, let me say that, please. Listen, Dwight, I get excited when it comes to my students here.
We can tell.
But that night also, for the first time, my God, we disability community and persons who would have been advocates for persons with disability, because so many times all these persons go unnoticed. And so that night, for the first time, we are having an icon award. So listen here, you need to be there, $40. And also the committee was told there are many persons with disability who would like to be there because they kept hearing about the good time we have it, but they are unable to afford it. So we are seeking sponsors. You may not be able to go out that night for whatever reason, but you could sponsor one person or two persons, 5 persons to enjoy themselves that night. So we're looking for sponsors for persons with disability.
Wow. Okay. That is fantastic. And again, if you want to sponsor, you just go down to the training center. That's right?
Yes.
Yep.
That's it. That's the place.
All right. That is
Friday
great stuff.
Friday is also the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. Under the theme this year, Leadership and Participation for Persons with Disability towards an inclusive, accessible, and sustainable post-COVID-19 world.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Right, I guess we have to come back because we still have our big date to promote, which is Saturday, December the 4th.
Oh, yes.
Tell us about it. Tell us about it. Let's go on.
We will in Esplanade. You know, we have
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And especially the children with disabilities haven't gotten a chance to get out. So on Saturday from 12 noon, we're going to have a family fun day, an exhibition of all the talents with persons with disabilities. There are going to be booths from the various organizations for persons with disabilities. So you can come out there, get your conference, your grill, your everything, and just spend a little dollar here to help raise some revenue for those various NGOs. And then we're going to have a massive kiddie play area for children with disabilities where everything is going to be free just for them. And then that evening is going to be our rally and concert, a full concert featuring persons with disabilities from the various...
Yes, great.
Like the Blairwood Academy Training Center for the Disabled, the Center for the Deaf, Aaron Gidmore School for the Blind. Everybody's going to be on stage at night now. You don't have to worry about bungling up in the crowd because it's going to be a drive-in concert rally. We're going to have the big Titron screen out there. You can stay in your car, and the The audio will be transmitted through the speakers in your car, so you can practice your safe distance and all the health protocols and still enjoy that entire show. And then at the end of the evening will be another concert. That be a Buck the Soulful Groovers who have always been supporting us year after year. But one family said they're going to do a drive. And at the end of it, we're going to have a drive-in movie. So you can still say we're going to show a disability-focused movie that evening for the family. So that is what's going on 4th of December. You know, we haven't had no big fair or nothing for a long time. So we invite the general public to come on out, practice your health protocols, social distance in your car, do what it is evident, and still enjoy what the community of persons with disabilities have to offer as we promote our disability pride and encourage inclusiveness for all.
Oh my goodness. Wow. That is a lot. That is very exciting stuff. This is beautiful. And thank you so much for sharing this with us. Kendrick Roll, Zen Roll, and Riviana Smith. Your energy is unbelievable. I need to borrow some of that for this show in the mornings. But thank you. Thank you all so much. Happy Bahamas Disability Awareness Week. And thank you for sharing the good news of all the hard work that's going on. We appreciate you all so much. You're all very inspiring people.
Thank you so much for having us.
Having us, Dwight. And as you usually do, we're always grateful for you extending the opportunity for us to promote our efforts and the community of persons with disabilities.
It is our pleasure. It is our pleasure. Thank you all again.
Thank you.
We're going to take a break and be back with more Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Wendy's and Coca-Cola are back with $45,000 worth of upgrades for you. Upgrade your premium lunch combo to a large or purchase a large salad and a Coke product and get your scratch card for a chance to win thousands of prizes instantly. You can win a PlayStation 5, plane tickets with spending money, weekend hotel stays, an iMac, iPads, iPhone 13, tool sets, washer and dryer set, and thousands more prizes. Visit Wendy's Facebook page for more details on the Upgrade My Life promotion. Rules and restrictions apply.
Do you need to insure your vehicle at the best price? With the most options and free installment payments, CG Atlantic agents offer affordable coverage for everyone. Just call 677-6422 to find out how you can protect your vehicle with extra options to keep you covered. Why wait? Call CG Atlantic agents today at 677-6422. Visit us online at cgatlanticagents.com or in person at Atlantic and Collins Avenue. Nassau Insurance Brokers and Agents Limited, trading as CG Atlantic Agents.
Your child needs nutrients every day, and Enfagrow has DHA and iron, which supports your child's mental development. Enfagrow has components which cow's milk does not contain. Support your toddler's growth and complement their diet with Enfagrow. Let's fuel the wonder. This product is not intended to be a substitute for breast milk. Milk does not contain DHA, but contains calcium and other nutrients.
Unlock the value of your home with an RBC Home Equity Loan and do more for the holidays, like home improvements, investments, and build back your savings. When you switch your mortgage to RBC, experience the difference with no management fees, cash back on closing costs, and guidance from our mobile mortgage finance specialists. Learn more at rbc.com/Caribbean/equity loan and experience holiday joy with RBC. Offer extended to December 31st. Conditions apply.
For 38 years, Strachan Commercial Pest Services has provided trained certified technicians while using environmentally safe, industry-standard products. Pests can devastate your business. Together, we will ensure adequate exclusion methods. Uncontrolled pest problems lead to significant financial loss due to food contamination, business disruption, and stock waste. Strachan provides detailed solutions protecting your business and reputation. Strachan, #1 in pest control services.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Oh, yes, it's time. I know, a lot sooner than we thought. Well, that's thanks to those returns from my RF Mutual funds. You know they have some of the best performing funds in the market. Yup, with what I've been earning, I can finally set a date for my product launch. Draft the paperwork, I'm on my way.
Reach your financial goals sooner with RF Mutual Funds. Sign up by November 29th for a chance to win $1,000. Find out more at rfgroup.com. RF, money at work.
Open up this at the time of the year. BDC spreading Christmas cheer. To everybody whether far or near. Move to the rhythm of Christmas round here. Open up
Enjoy huge smartphone savings plus a Christmas gift when you sign up or make a purchase. Connect and share the magic this Christmas with BTC.
Christmas make it BTC. It's the better choice for you and me.
Move to the rhythm of Christmas. Move to the rhythm of BTC. Conditions apply.
Physical distancing isn't the same as being socially distant. I know that sometimes it can be a bit difficult not being able to engage in the in-person social activities that we did before, whether that be going to the movies or just hanging out in person. But remember that different does not mean distant. As the generation of technology, we can get creative in planning virtual parties with friends and family. Play online games with friends. Plan virtual family parties. Start a cooking competition or do a virtual dance party. If you do gather in person, however, remember to avoid gathering in large groups. Always ensure that you wear your mask to cover your mouth and nose. And remember, wash and sanitize your hands often.
This message is brought to you by the PAHO WHO Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Country Office, the Ministry of Health, and the Healthy Bahamas Coalition.
And we're back here with Morning Blend. And of course, that music means it's time for the Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle drawing for today. Two great prizes to give away to people who've registered on vaxbahamas.com who are vaccinated against COVID-19 or even partially vaccinated. That's all you need to do to register, vaxbahamas.com. And we've been giving away prizes since September, and we still have a long way to go. Thanks to our amazing partners and this whole initiative spearheaded by the U.S. Embassy of the Bahamas. Okay, so today, Chester, we're giving away two fantastic prizes. We've got 2 passes to Dolphin Encounters and a $100 super value gift certificate. Oh, man. All right, so this is a great time of year for that, right? So that's going to go a long way. So yeah, 2 wonderful prizes. Get first the $100 super value gift certificate. The winner of the $100 super value gift certificate, it's like gold right now. Let's see if I pronounce this right. Nacoleon Bethel, Nacoleon, Did I say Bethel?
Maybe Nicolene?
Nicoleon Brannon. Did I say Bethel? Brannon. I did. Okay, I got this whole thing wrong. Nicoleon Brannon. Nacolean. Brannon, Brainen. Right? Nacoleon or Nacolean Brannon, Brainen. You are the winner of the $100 super value gift certificate, and the U.S. Embassy, they have your name right. And they will contact you to tell you how you could get your prize, all right? Congratulations to you. All right. So for the encounters, 2 passes to Dolphin Encounters. You've been there before, Chester?
I have not been to Dolphin.
Oh, wow, yeah. Well, me neither. We need to get on this so we can go there too. Makia Leslie, Makeia Leslie. You've won 2 passes to Dolphin Encounters. Congratulations. Good stuff. Great for you. Congratulations. Have fun with that. And remember, we're giving away more prizes tomorrow. Tune in for that. For the rest of the week, actually. Yeah. So vaxbahamas.com if you want to be a part of this and be part of all the many people who've won prizes so far up to this point. All right. It's time now for Morning Blend Business.
It's a celebration.
RBC has been growing with the Bahamas for over 110 years. We are committed to deepening our relationship with existing clients and forging new ones in investments in youth, education, and environmental initiatives. We're dedicated to helping you and our communities grow.
We're here to help you flourish. We're RBC.
RBC Royal Bank.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bowls, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Hurricane season is here. If you're not prepared, it can really turn your life upside down. Fortunately, there's CG Atlantic General. Our people are here ready to assist at a moment's notice, with protection like alternative accommodation for those who are dorm. It's our priority to make sure you have what you need when you need it most. So when your life gets turned upside down, we can help to turn it around. CG Atlantic General. Good like that. Security and General Insurance Company Limited, trading as CG Atlantic General. Contact a CG Atlantic General broker today.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Day, November 24th, 2021. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan, along with Chester Robards today. And today we continue our discussion we started yesterday, talking about BPL and some of the challenges that the corporation's facing, along with consumers who, especially last year, weren't able to pay their bills after perhaps being laid off or furloughed and running up huge bills and now being disconnected as a result of it. Prepaid meters, will that be the answer to some of these problems? Our guests believe so. Welcome back from Contemporary Builders, Debbie Deal. Deborah Deal, welcome. Always a pleasure. Great to have you with us.
And it's great to be back. Thank you, Dwight, and talk. And for the listening audience in the Bahamas, it's great to be here. And I have so much energy after listening to Riviana.
Oh, man.
She needs to be a motivational speaker.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm dripping with energy after that. What a segue.
I could run a marathon now after that. Oh boy. But you always have a lot of energy as well, Debbie. So I'm sure you're gonna be great. All right, so let's talk about this. You were listening yesterday and you were messaging me while we were on the air. We've heard BPL talk about this. In fact, the first time I ever heard of a prepaid meter was when BPL mentioned this a few years back, but this is a thing. And to me, initially when I heard about it, I'm like, oh, this is a recipe for a disaster. I mean, people will run up their electricity and be stuck and be off. But you think this will actually bring some discipline and could help people in a financial way as well. So let's talk about it all. How do they work, first of all, and then we can get into why you think it's going to be the answer for some consumers and the corporation are facing.
All right. Well, I started talking about this when the PLP was in power the last time, because I knew that they actually had the prepaid meters. And at that point in time, there was about 5,000 persons or meters that had been disconnected for non-payment, right? And to me, it was the perfect solution. And it's a perfect solution for both BPL, the government, and the consumers. And I'll go through the reasons why. Now, first of all, how it works is it's like a cell phone. You know, BTC were the first ones that came out with prepaid cell phones, right? And, you know, I'm a postpaid person, but in those days, you know, you had to, you know, if you wanted to be postpaid, you had to go through the ropes to actually do it. Prepaid. Now, with them doing prepaid cell phones, think about it. Not just one or two people have cell phones. Everybody has a cell phone. Your gardener, your housekeeper, the prime minister sitting in church using his cell phone, the members of parliament driving in their cars using their cell phone, business owners, store clerks, everybody has a cell phone and everybody uses it. And because it's prepaid, track that you will use whatever system that you're using. There's now more than one. And you can actually put 5, 10, 20, whatever you want to, dollars on your actual phone. And when you see somebody with a prepaid phone, somebody like me with postpaid, I notice it a lot more than probably someone with prepaid. As your money starts running out, you see people start turning off their data and doing all kinds of things to make sure that they can actually continue to use their phone until they're able to put more money on it, right? And it's not like it's a big deal for them to do this, right? And it's become such a habit that doing the same thing with BPL is going to be a simple transition as far as I can see. And what offends me is we sit here and we suck our teeth when power goes off, right? Mm-hmm. We suck our teeth. And then we get all upset when something happens and the power goes off and there's something tripped or whatever. Well, we're expecting BPL to give us good quality service and at good prices, right? And reliable service, yet we're not prepared to pay our bills. That's absolutely ridiculous. And yes, we have had COVID. Yes, we have all had, in my family, my son-in-law, my daughter, and myself are in construction, so we didn't work. We had no money coming in for a considerable long period of time. My one daughter's a veterinarian, so she basically worked. So I know what it's like to not be able to pay your bills, to not have the money to do that. But during that time when people weren't paying their bills, were they still using their air conditioners? Were they still using their clothes dryers if they had them? Now think about that. Your parents and grandparents did not have air conditioning. They survived and lived long lives without air conditioning. But were you still using air conditioning when you weren't able to have before for BPL and you're still using power now? I mean, these are the things that we really need to consider. And we're actually expecting BPL to be a bank. We're expecting them to take a small deposit from us, right? And give us power for 1, 2, or 3 months before they cut it off. They have to buy fuel to actually create generation of energy for us, right? They have to do all of those things, yet we're not paying our bills. And some people are notorious for just never paying their bills. We all have to be financially relevant. We all have to pay attention to what we're doing because it affects everybody. When people don't pay their bill, if the BPL actually has to write that off, that comes back onto our bills. So as far as I can see, if we were to go with prepaid meters, you would be in charge of your own power. You would be in charge of what you have and how long you will have it for, not waiting for a company to cut it off after you haven't paid it for 3 months and then have no way of actually paying that bill later on. BPL basically has to suck that up. That really is not fair. It's not fair for them, especially when we turn around and start moaning and groaning that transmission and distribution needs to be, redone, that the grid system needs to be updated and all of these things. But how can they do that if we are not paying them? You can't go to a grocery store and take groceries home and use them and pay later. You can't do that in any store. Even Cable Bahamas takes even our cable companies take 2 months. They take 1 month as a deposit. When you're cut off, those 2 months that you've actually given them are actually where the money came from. They are not owed any money at all. So these are the things that we need to do.
All right, let's take a break right here. Debbie, you've said a lot of great things. I have many questions, and I'm sure our listeners do as well. Let's take the break really quickly, and then we'll pick it up on the other side. We are talking with Debbie Deal about prepaid meters and how this could be the answer for a lot of consumers and a lot of BPL's woes. We'll explore this a little more when we get back. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Are you on the move?
Busy running errands? Do you have so much to do that you don't have a lot of time on your hands? Have you gotten your COVID-19 vaccine yet? Well, if you haven't, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine may be the one for you. It's one and done and fully vaccinated for now. Yes, you only need one jab of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine and you're done. Lower your risk of severe illness and death from COVID-19 by getting vaccinated. This message has been brought to you by the Ministry of Health and this radio station.
It's a different kind of Christmas, but everything is here.
Yes, everything is here at Shop Smart Department Stores. 2 locations just for you. One on Mackey Street next to RBC and in the Prince Charles Shopping Plaza. Come on down. Everything is here. At Shop Smart. At Shop Smart. At Shop Smart. Oh, everything is here.
Technology makes every day in life just a little bit easier. Whether it's for joy, productivity, or creativity, Custom Computers has all the latest gadgets to conquer any obstacle. Imagine automating mundane tasks with tech and living a freer, richer lifestyle, all while staying on top of your goals. The path to freedom could fit in the palm of your hand. Discover tomorrow's technology today at Custom Computers on Patton Street, Cable Beach, and Caves Village through the Blake Road entrance.
At Fidelity, the holidays are all about family, spending time with loved ones, and being thankful for the little things in life. Worrying about bills should be the last thing on your mind, especially during the holidays. Let Fidelity help you get your bills under control. Fidelity can also get you started with a real savings plan that actually pays you interest. The only thing you need to think about in your pocket this Christmas. Now that's what I'm talking about. Fidelity Bank is here for you this holiday season because you are family and family is important to us.
And we are back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with Chester Robards. We're talking with Debbie Deal about prepaid meters. Okay, you made a very interesting case for this before the break, Debbie. Now, you did mention it about how, you know, when you run up all of your minutes, I guess, on your prepaid cell phone, well, that's it until you have more money. You'll be without a phone. But electricity is a little bit different. I mean, it could be a while. We could have a lot of people who are off. Is it reasonable to compare it to how we use cell phones? I mean, it's not, even though they've become a major part of our lives, it's not quite as essential.
This is not something new. England has been doing this for years and years, and many countries do. You know, we're basically the only thing a prepaid meter does that's different in what's going on now is you actually have to finance yourself and not BPL finance you. That's the only difference. So what would happen is you would have your debit card or your credit card, and you would just put money on your prepaid meter. And you could actually put a large amount down in the beginning if you want to, and work it down and continue to put money on, just the same way we do everything else. We have become a digital country. We've become digital. We are actually the first country in the world to have a central bank digital currency. There's no reason in the world, yes, energy is important, but guess what? So is making sure that your finances are in order. You know that you're going to have energy. You know you're going to need it. You know what your bills are. In every other instance in our life, we have to make sure we mortgage on time. We have to pay our house insurance on time, our health insurance on time. We have to buy groceries. We have to go to the gas station to get gas for our vehicles. We do that but we think the BPL should fund us and then get upset when they cut us off. No, it's just, I'm not comparing it to the phone and the necessity of a phone and power. I'm comparing it to the payment method that we have gotten used to as a society here. And another thing is that just one quick thing that I have to say before I'm going to have to run out in about 15 minutes is, you know, the Prime Minister went and represented us so well at COP26. He talked about, you know, large ocean, small island developing states and us being one of the top 10 that will disappear with climate change. The use of fossil fuels creates carbon. He went there to fight for us, for the large carbon creators like India and China, to actually pay small island developing states funds on a regular basis so we can start building our seawalls, building up our infrastructure to make sure that if climate change does happen sooner or even later, prepared for that. He's gone to fight for that. And we're not going to do everything we can do to use less energy. Again, I've talked about the fact that the Chamber of Commerce has the Green Initiative, the YouTube videos that everybody can watch and see how you can conserve energy. There's the ghost sleeves, the 30% of your power. We really have to take this serious. We cannot expect BPL to be our finance, our energy.
Yeah.
Because we're, you know, go ahead. So I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. So how much of a difference will this make to BPL, though, with all the other challenges they're facing? Will this really make a difference to their bottom line, especially with so many commercial enterprises that we understand owe them money as well? Will this make a big difference to them?
Well, think about this. If right now, why should BPL have to even have a credit and collections department? It's not something that they need for their business, because they could have, if the bills were paid, they could even eliminate that. But they have to have a large department of credit and collections so that people could go in and figure out how they're going to pay their bill, as well as continue to have power. I mean, we're putting all the illness on the BPL, on the energy company. The energy company is there to provide energy. That is the service that they're to provide, not to give us free energy for 3 or 4 months and then try to figure out how to pay it. And the businesses and the government buildings and whatever that aren't paying their bills, they should just be cut off. They have the money to pay it. Why are they putting they're the same people that will moan and groan about the fact that we can't bring in foreign investment because we don't have proper energy. You know, we have to consider, what are we doing? How are we eliminating things by putting BPL in this situation? Now, you know, I'm one of those that's always, you know, BPL needs to do this and do that. But this is one thing that I really agree that they need to make sure that they don't have to chase their funds for a product that they are giving us, so that they would actually have money to be able to do the things that need to do. Like Station D, they just had a town hall meeting with that and did the EIA presentation and stuff. These are things that they want to do. They need $100 million to do that. But we're not paying our bills, so they can't do that.
So how, if you were the big boss and were in charge of all of this, how would you do it? Would you make it mandatory? Everybody is prepaid, or who wouldn't be? Would it be optional? Would it be based on your payment? How well you've been able to make payments in the past? Yes. How would it work?
I would do it. If you have not paid your bills, and you are consistently not paying your bills, and you've been cut off numerous times, that's an indicator that you are going to continue doing that, because you know that nothing else will really happen. Eventually you'll get your power back on. So you're taking advantage of a situation. Yes, that they would be the ones that I would first start with. Now, again, I don't know how they get tied into the grid. I don't know if they all have to be in one section. I don't know how it has to be done, but that's definitely what I would do, because you can't, you know, we all suffered during COVID. I do agree with that. That was very, very difficult, but we all still also knew that we needed power. And I got to be honest, I saw people out the entire time of COVID at Kelly's and everywhere, grocery stores. Oh, somebody had money. Somebody had money. So if you have money to pay for other things, like, I'm not talking about groceries, but going to other stores like home stores and that type of thing, then, you know, you could pay your bill. Even if you put $50 a week on your bill. You could do that.
Yeah.
Well, what was interesting was the BPL CEO said during the press conference on, what was it, Monday, that they extended the payment plan. They tried to make it a little easier for people to make smaller payments, and that still didn't help at all. Like they still got cut off
because they're not going to pay. You see, we have a history of this. This has been going on for the last 40 years that I know of, that, you don't pay your power bill for, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, you get cut off, and then eventually you get it back. Somebody's absorbing that, and it's not us. Well, we are, because when BPL has to absorb that as a loss, then our bills have to go up. When we have a fuel surcharge, the fuel surcharge is not always for fuel, it's for many things. So if people aren't paying their bills, then that surcharge could go up because somebody has to pay it, and it ends up being us.
Yeah. So would you propose that any new clients will automatically go, and then after a while you establish?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Just like telephones. I mean, we now have prepaid phones. We have postpaid phones, with they're pushing to try to get people to do, but everybody loves the prepaid, right? And who has a home phone? Mm-hmm. Home phones are totally gone. You will see that with this prepaid meter, the entire sector will change. Everything will start going on that method, so that nobody is. Could you imagine how businesses in this country would be if all of them had funds that were never collected? Like a grocery store lets you go in and buy groceries for 3 months and not pay for it, and then all of a sudden you've got to try to collect the money from them. Yeah. You don't go to many stores anymore where they actually will give you a credit, like some kind of an account at the store. Not many of the companies do that anymore because they keep getting burned. We really have a habit here. We need to change it.
What's the immediate solution to get the ball rolling on the smart meters? Because BPO was waiting on this rate reduction bond thing to get the ball rolling on that. But what's the answer here? Can BPO get people to purchase their own meter and then start from there or something?
Well, no, because they need to make sure that the meter that's being used, the current and whatever they produce, will have to go through that meter. So if a client did purchase it, they would have to purchase it directly from them. You can go to a store and buy a meter, but you would need to purchase it from them. I would do that, to be honest, with the persons that are struggling now. I would do that, and I would, instead of coming up with the money to pay off the bill right now, I would have them come up with the money for first maybe 2 months of what your power is, and you put that down on it, and you start using it, and then you let them deal with the fact whether they have power or not power. Then it's all up to them. That's what I would do. And the rate reduction bond is not going to help anybody. It's borrowing money to pay for money that was borrowed that has never been paid.
Wow. So, boy.
I know it's tough love, but you know what? When are we not going to be tough on these things? Because Dwight, you, me, Chester, we're the ones who pay for this, and people don't pay their bills.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, with the prepaid meters, the fear of running out, though, that you didn't put enough on, and then you run out in the middle of the night or in the middle of...
Then you just recharge it.
You know what? No, you can actually have an app on your phone that actually tells you where you're at with your power. Mm-hmm. And actually, if you look at your bill, I'm looking at my bill right now. My bill tells me my 12-month electrical usage from last year and what I'm using now. Mm-hmm. So you know exactly what your bills are. You know how much you're going to use in January, February, March, April, May, June. Unless something different happens in your home, that's what you're going to need. So if you're looking at your meter run down, then you better be running around the house and have watched some of those Green Initiative videos, and you know what to turn off and what to eliminate to make sure that you have power for your lights, for your refrigerator, those kind of things. Mm-hmm. I mean, we have to be responsible. We can't not conserve energy and expect our prime minister to fight for us.
Wow. All right. So we're getting some reaction to what you're saying, and we encourage more people to text us, tweet us, Facebook us, or call in even 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. And you're saying businesses can do this as well. This would be a great option for many businesses.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow.
You know, if a business doesn't do it, if I were BPL, I would make them get a letter from the bank saying that the bank would be responsible for making sure that their bills are paid if they're not paid. And 3 months later, if it's not paid, the BPL will go to that same bank that they said, and they will collect the money from there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would do.
Do you know the cost for these meters? Like if BPL were to acquire a bunch of them, like
For 6 or 7 years, they're already here.
So it's just sitting around?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm confused now.
Okay.
All right. Well, I know this for a fact. I found out about that when the POP were in power before, and then when Edison and DaCosta and I went and met with Minister Bannister, we asked them about the prepaid meters, and they said, they were going to try them in Spanish Wells, and because it was an isolated location and that kind of stuff. But they never did that because Spanish Wells didn't really want it. Spanish Wells doesn't really need prepaid meters. I mean, that's not the island to do it on. So I know they're here. Yes.
Wow. Okay. I know we don't have much time with you, but I want you to respond to some of these messages here.
Sure.
Okay. So, of course, you knew this was going to come. Your guest is talking foolishness. BPL has squandered taxpayers' money. Many people are unable to pay their bills, which she's sounding really insensitive. Plus, the cost of living is rising and our salaries are not. Please, it's not as black and white as she's making it sound. That's a bunch of mess.
Well, you know what? I know it. I'm making it sound tough, and I know BPL has done that. That's not the point at this point in time. You and I cannot tell BPL what to do. We can't tell them how to run their business. We could suggest, we could hope that the board will actually do what they're supposed to do. Absolutely right. They've gotten themselves into this mess, and it's been, 40 years since it's been in this situation. But at this particular point in time, we need to start being responsible for our own self. That's why a lot of people want to go solar, because they want to have their own energy system. I don't want somebody to be able to cut off my phone or my electricity. I want to make sure that I've paid that so that I don't have to worry about that. And yes, I know it's really tough love, and I don't mean to be, like I'm saying, 3 of us were totally unemployed during COVID. It's not like I'm talking from, I'm just talking from this high horse up here, and I have not experienced it. We were at BIAC, every other Monday getting boxes of fruit and vegetables that we were sharing amongst our families, as well as everybody else. I mean, if you don't have money coming in for a year, where does it come from?
Well, this text here, Urca really needs to look into the practices from utility companies. If your service is disconnected, how can they continue to charge you the full cost of connection? Well, you're not using the service. There should be no cost to them other than a minimal account maintenance fee. It is unconscionable what they're doing. Okay.
Well, they don't take your meter out. The meter stays. They just cut off the power going to the meter, and the $26 fee, like if you were, say, to go with solar and you wanted to go off the grid, you would still have to keep your meter, and you still have to pay the minimum fee, which is sometimes it's $16, sometimes it's 20-something dollars. So that if you ever sold your house, it could be reconnected very simply, as opposed to taking it out totally and then having to go back to, new lines from the poles or underground service or that type of thing.
All right, so this is interesting. I'm not sure the texter is asking this, but it's leading me to ask this. So once you've prepaid and we have the power outages that we know we have, I mean, this creates a very tricky situation, doesn't it? I mean, then you won't be getting value for your money. How will they square that away?
Well, the same way that they have power that they're not paying for because they haven't paid their bills and power goes off, it's still the same thing. It's exactly the same thing.
Okay.
Don't pay for what you're not using.
Absolutely. Your meter will not turn. You will not lose any money. When power comes back on, it will start to run again.
Okay.
But there's so many things, like I've said, I've been on your show so many times talking about how you can actually reduce your energy consumption. This might be the way to actually get that to actually happen so that we're more responsible. Climate change is going to affect all of us. And as long as we just sit here and pretend it's not, and pretend that somebody else needs to take care of us, it's not going to change. It's going to be very hard for us as a country.
Oh, wow. All right. I know you have to go. Let's take this call really quickly. Brace yourself, though. But good morning, caller on Morning Blend Business.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well.
I agree with the guest. We need to be responsible for ourselves. Bahamians do everything, and they find money for everything. We're traveling a lot, we're shopping a lot, we're partying a lot, and we need to be a little bit more responsible because this affects all of us. We have $100 million in debt with BPL, the government, who is actually our employers, our employees. We have to pay this back because we as citizens, and then everything goes up. Everything goes up, and it affects everyone. So we're suffering for those who are lawless, who are irresponsible, and those who, they find money for everything. And it affects us, and we need to be responsible, okay? And I agree 100%. I'm 47 years old, and in 47 years, we've been doing this yo-yo, cut off the light, put 30% on, turn it back on, and the balance is still unpaid. We have people with thousands of dollars in debt, but every week they're shopping, every month they're traveling. No, this has to stop because we're paying for it, our children is paying for it, and our children's children is paying for it. So I agree 100%. Nip this in the bud now. Thank you very much. I'll listen.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Because you do see a lot of, there's a lot of hair and nails being done every week. Where's that money come from? Could that money maybe go to make sure that your power doesn't go out? I mean, I'm not trying to be cruel and I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm trying to be real. I'm trying to be real. And that's what we need to start doing. We can't say that, we're not making, our cost of living is high. It is. We're not making good salaries. Absolutely true. But until we're able to get the government to actually change some of the things or work with us on these things, we need to start being responsible for ourselves. We really do.
Wow. One final message here before we take a break and Debbie let you go. Instead of pressuring the poor to keep up, we should pressure the government to make life more affordable. I think you just mentioned that, though, Debbie. Yeah, but we have to also practice what we're preaching here, though.
Yes.
Wow. All right. Well, it's going to be interesting to see what the new board does. If they do finally implement this, as you said, it's been a while. It's been a while since this, and I don't know what's been the issue here. Just a lot of people running themselves into big problems that it's going to be very hard for them to crawl out of it. But it's time to put an end to this now.
Really
Debbie,
is, you see a lot of houses that have been repossessed because people, bite off more than they can chew. We really have to stop doing that. We really have to be realistic. And I so appreciate you having me on, Chester. And Dwight.
Always a pleasure.
It's been great. Yeah. And listen, I'll let you fight the rest of the 15. Let me know how it works out. But I have an appointment at 10 o'clock.
Yes,
so
thank you
so much.
You've given us a lot to think about this morning. Debbie Deal, always a pleasure.
And goodbye, Bahamas.
Okay.
Be safe.
All right, folks, we're going to take a break and be back. We'll get to more of your messages and more of your calls on this issue. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Whip, I snap, attack, front to back, in this thing called rap. Singing like a shovel rhyme double on a heavenly level. Bang the bass, turn up to the time. 714, live, divine, maniac, brainiac, winning the game. I'm the lyrical Jesse.
Helping out each other, family and everybody. It's a simple act of kindness with you, me, and RBC.
RBC wants to spread acts of kindness during this festive season. One simple act of kindness for our friends, co-workers, and communities can cause the brightest smile. Help a stranger, give a food basket, or call an elderly person. Share your stories at facebook.com/RBC Caribbean.
Acts of kindness, RBC.
At CBS Bahamas, Black Friday is back and bigger than ever.
over. Mark your calendars for Friday, November 26th. Set your clocks because doors open at 5 a.m. Wear your shopping shoes and get there early. There'll be deals galore in store on everything from hardware and lawn care to housewares and small appliances. It's all going down this Black Friday at CBS Bahamas Southwest Plaza, Carmichael Road. All COVID protocols will be strictly enforced.
Janae's Christmas Wonderland is open under the Big Tent. Get 20 to 50% off selected Christmas decorations. Restrictions apply. Trees in pink, frosted green or white in a variety of sizes. LED and laser lights, a large variety of tree ornaments, lighted angels, Santa tree toppers, bright and lively colored Christmas balls, garlands, wreaths, red and white stringed cranberry, tree skirts, stockings, and lots more. Add flowers, picks, and decorative mesh to brighten up your home or office this holiday season. And don't forget the toys at Janae's Chesapeake Road. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Janae's Limited. WhatsApp 817-3295.
96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Michael was in a horrible car accident. Prudential loss adjusters managed his claim and got him the settlement he deserved. Sierra's roof received hurricane damage. Thanks to Prudential, she and her kids are happy with their claim settlement. Tammy fractured her ankle in a slip and fall. Prudential saved her time, money, and peace of mind. Prudential loss adjusters are here for you whenever a tragedy strikes. Call 322-4026 now.
Don't to the strike. This hurricane season, be ready. Protect your home with an affordable and comprehensive home insurance policy from Shield Insurance. You can't control what nature blows your way, but with Shield Insurance, you can rest easy as you ride out the storm. Protect your largest and most valuable investment. Don't take a chance. Put your home in our hands.
Shield Insurance agents and brokers in Nassau. Call 356-7202 or Freeport 352-5945.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Brought to you by CFAL. Minister of Economic Affairs Michael Halkita says that the government is very confident that the country's foreign reserves will remain robust given the continued growth in the tourism sector and despite the typical drawdown of those reserves that occurs around this time of year as businesses are stocking up. Halkita says the regular consultations with the country's monetary authority, the central bank of the tourism sector, has sustained enough growth since the start of the pandemic to ease the worry of significant drawdowns on reserves. The government will soon enact the International Commercial Arbitration Bill as it steers the country towards becoming an international arbitration center, a move that could diversify the country's economic model and become a foundation for new investments. That's according to a press statement from the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators Bahamas branch. The branch recently met with Minister of Economic Affairs Michael Halkita and Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Ryan Pinder, and were updated on the legislation, which supports a framework for alternative dispute resolution through arbitration and mediation. The statement also explained that during the meeting, attendees discussed the establishment of a center for alternative dispute resolution as a public-private partnership, as well as creating a registry for dispute resolution professionals, and also the inclusion of alternative dispute resolution clauses within government contracts. Overseas, German businesses and their confidence has dropped for a fifth consecutive month amid persistent supply chain bottlenecks and a resurgence of coronavirus infections in Europe's biggest economy. The IFO Institute saying its monthly confidence index dropped to 96.5 points in November from 97.7 last month. The company's assessment of both their current situation and their outlook for the next 6 months worsened. It was the lowest figure since February. The statement from IFO saying that supply bottlenecks and the fourth wave of coronavirus are challenging German companies. It said that while manufacturers' future outlook brightened somewhat, that of firms in the service sector deteriorated, with a steep rise in COVID infections to a string of new records leading to a plunge in expectations in the tourism and hospitality industries in Germany. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Tuesday, your market movers: Bahamas Waste moving 775 shares unchanged at 925. North Bank moving 25,000, closing at 255 unchanged. Commonwealth Brewery moving 400 unchanged at 875. Colina Holdings moving 6,144 unchanged at $7. Consolidated Water unchanged at $228. Emira Incorporated unchanged at $11.47. The Basic All Share Index closing at 2,120.35 unchanged. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Let me ask you a few questions. What's your name?
Pam.
Favorite food?
Steak.
Beer or wine?
Wine.
Is your money safe?
It's under my bed, so I guess so.
Are you serious?
Yeah, why?
Unless your money is in a bank or credit union that's a member of the Deposit Insurance Corporation, there's no guarantee it's safe.
Yeah, but what if something happens to the bank?
Your Bahamian dollar deposits are insured up to $50,000. Plus, your mattress might catch fire. Then what?
Man, those banks and credit unions are looking good right about now.
Visit the DIC's website at www.dic.bs. Protection for your money guaranteed with DIC.
Food security is a challenge for many. Now in a pandemic, many more are unsure of their next meal. Through their Feed 5,000 program and a $20,000 donation, AML is working to ensure that everyone has a meal for the holidays, and they're inviting you to help. Now until December 17th, visit any Solomon's, Costrite, Fresh Market, or Domino's in Nassau or Freeport, and Exuma Markets in Georgetown to donate and help feed a family in need this Christmas. No amount is too small. Remember, we're all in this together.
What does Christmas mean to you? What about making a loved one's face smile bright or driving your own car? CIBC First Caribbean gives you up to 100% financing on auto loans. Apply to financing take you places this Christmas. Visit CIBCFCIB.com for more information. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
And we are back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with Chester Robards. All right, we're getting some great reactions to our discussion with Debbie Deal this morning about prepaid meters and the need for these and to help consumers who are struggling and to help BPL. And boy, I tell you, this one here, Chester, this based on, why do we still assume that the people who are having their hair and nails done are the ones traveling and shopping and traveling and shopping are the exact ones whose lights are off? There are people who haven't left this island in over 20 years, and the fingernail, file, and press-on nails are hard for them to afford. Stop assuming all black shoppers, well, nobody say anything about black, but okay, black shoppers and travelers are broke and assuming and using candles. That wasn't happening at all, but we know this. Let's not pretend that there are people who are buying up and going to everything, and they have massive amounts of debt all over the place. That's all. We know this is a thing. This has been a thing, and that for many people, the electricity bill is at the bottom of the priority list, and many bills, some even mortgage, right? So let's not pretend. Nobody's saying everybody, but that is definitely happening. It may not be you, but it's definitely happening.
The electricity bill ain't at the bottom of the priority.
So not even on that list. It's on we'll get to that later list. Okay. This one, another one. Those people we see shopping and traveling may be the ones who have paid their bills. How about the rich people who get away, never pay, and never get cut off?
Who that?
I don't know. All right. So another person here, if I don't pay my bill, shut me off, then we won't have the high arrears. But the arrears are from companies and businesses who are not paying, yet BPL keeps them on. And another one, who is they? The first thing we need to do is act on data. Out of this 100 million, how much is owed by hotels and corporations, and what is the average household debt? All right, so we've got a lot of those comments coming in, and you all might be very right. The majority, we asked yesterday for BPL to break it down, tell us how much of this is residential customers and how much is commercial and government. We would like to know. But what about it? We know that there are at least a few residential, right, who are struggling and have been cut off and may have been off since the start of the pandemic, and many who've been off since before that. Whether there are more people who owe than they do, and what difference does it make? You still owe and you're still in the dark, and we don't need to have you living like this if we could have a system that might prevent this, right? So let's stop watching all the other people. Worry about yourself, right? And how much you owe people. And it's not a good feeling to be in debt to someone. Right, whether somebody else owes more or not. I mean, this is what's paralyzing the country. We keep watching what other people are doing. Well, you're getting away with it, so I'm not going to do it. And so everybody has this attitude, and we're just stuck in the mud. Yeah, it's terrible that company hasn't paid their bill in God knows how long. It is awful. It's not fair. It is very wrong. But is that going to determine how you behave going forward? Well, I'm not going to pay mine. And then you get mad when they cut you off. Well, yeah, you knew that life was unfair. It's terrible. We got to fix it. And right, call them out. Say, hey, look, I'm struggling and I'm paying mine. Why don't you? Boycott the companies that you think are doing those things. Maybe you have the evidence to support this, right? But that doesn't mean that you have the right to not do what's right. And once we all get over this, I think we're going to be doing a whole lot better.
Tell him, Dwight.
Anyway, let's take these calls really quickly. Good morning, caller. You're on Morning Blend.
Good morning, Dwight and Chester.
Hi.
Now, BPL need to cut costs too. It's renting in the mall and around space. FPL doesn't rent no store nowhere. Everything is done over the phone. There are millions of customers, but everything is done. Then they give you an account number. You go to the check casting store or Amscot and pay the check casting store or the scanner ID, and then they send your stuff to FPL. They save millions of dollars of employee and security guard watching the money. Most everything is done on credit cards too. You pay your bill on a credit card. The BPL is wasting money renting office space and big staff.
Well, they're only doing that because the public, many members of the public seem to be resistant.
We need to be forced into upgrade. Like I've been forced to wear seatbelts. If you have to do it, you have to do it. Because people are wasting millions of dollars on rental staff.
Okay, caller. Thank you very much. Caller, thank you. Appreciate it. Chester, they made a big deal about going paperless a few years ago, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they tried that, and people carried on about, oh, this is going to be a disaster. Oh, my God, right? Because many members of our public don't want to do what you're talking about, right? It's weird.
I don't know what the inside of BPL look like.
Right? Well, yeah.
I don't know how you would resist having not to go.
I haven't seen a BPL bill, a paper bill, I can't tell you the last time. I get mine online. I have an account, so you go and put in your password and you see it, and you pay through your bank, and so I'm sure they would hope they could do something like that, but they have to keep these locations open because many people are refusing to do it. So again, we have to look in the mirror to see how much of this is our fault.
I think
not all of it is our fault. I'm not saying that.
I think a lot of Bahamians like to go negotiate with the tellers.
They don't talk much. They just say, "What'd you put on it?" Okay.
Oh, there's be whispering at them windows too.
Oh boy. Okay. But yeah, let's push for BPL to open up and tell us what is what. This is really residential customers and how many in terms of the exact numbers, but also, as we said, the commercial enterprises. We've heard big, huge numbers in the past, and we'd like to know if that's still the case, and government as well. We want to know that all. But in any event, something has to be done. And that doesn't give you the right to not pay because, well, they ain't paying and they're still on. We'll never get anywhere, and we won't have the reliable, efficient electricity that we all have been crying for and all deserve. So yeah, we're in this together. We're in this together. Okay, see, reactions coming in, but we are out of time, so we may have to have a part 2 on this, or 3 now. Hey, is it part 3?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Chester Robards, always a pleasure. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Sir. Always a pleasure.
And I'll talk with you again next week. And I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're going to be back with you tomorrow, Morning Blend Business as well. And then Friday, we got a special show on Black Friday. We're going to be live for the big Black Friday sale at CBS Bahamas. So, hey, it's an exciting week ahead. Anyway, I keep saying that. Anyway, have a great day. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.